set now as both teams are being introduced on the field. And it's about time to turn things over to the man who'll be handling the play-by-play this afternoon, as always, Rich Leaf, and our guest commentator for this afternoon's game, Ron Lyons. Rich?
Okay, thank you very much, Tom Baroni, and good afternoon once again, everyone, from fog-shrouded John Jay High School in Cross River. We're set for another VIP game of the week, and one that was not on our original schedule, but one that we've been looking forward to for the past couple of weeks. Should be a great one. John Jay and Somers, some old rivals meeting for the first time in a number of years. And as they introduce the starting lineups to the crowd here that is assembled on this homecoming day at John Jay, let me take this opportunity to call in our guest commentator, of course, no stranger to football fans in Westchester County, and no stranger to our VIP listeners. The former head football coach here at John Jay, won 108 games in 18 years, and now the very fine athletic director, Ron Lyons. Ron, welcome to our VIP booth once again.
Thanks, Rich. It's a pleasure to have you here on our John Jay campus. We always welcome WVIP.
Okay, and Ron, of course, John Jay Somers used to be a game every year, a league game. John Jay in Conference A for a couple of years, and this is the first time these teams have seen each other for a couple of seasons.
This is the first time we've met each other, and I believe it's 5 years. The series goes way back. It was always a knock 'em, sock 'em, knock 'em down football game in the past, and I expect the same thing today, Rich.
Okay, let's quickly go over the starting lineups here. As just lost my headset, but that's okay. That's all right. No problem. And I guess we're going to have the playing of our national anthem in just a minute. We'll pick up the starters as we go. First, I think we'll have the toss of the coin, so let's go with the starting lineup. Starting offense for Somers, the tight end is Tom Gorman. And as I was right the first time, we're going to go first with the national anthem. Okay, with the playing of our national anthem, we're just about set for football here at John Jay High School in our VIP game of the week. As both teams now meeting about a third of the way out on the center of the field for the toss of the coin. And we're going to pick up those starting lineups for you right now as we just get squared away here in our VIP booth. And the starting lineup for Somers will be the tight end, Tom Gorman. He goes 6'1", 211. Right tackle, John Sullivan, 6'4", 218. Right guard, Ed Stola. The center will be Steve Borgelt, who has been around for a number of years for the Somers Tuskers. Left guard, Pete Pappas. The left tackle will be George Burns. And the split end, John Giardina. The quarterback is a junior, Kevin Halloran. Fullback, a good one, Russell Liu. Left halfback, Hal Eaton. And the right halfback, a young man who's broken 2 long ones for 70-plus yards, Anthony Chayka. He's starting, and we'll just wait for the toss of the coin. The referee has just tossed it at the center of the field. And we'll see who has won and how we'll start this football game. Looks like Somers has won, of course. This year, Ron, they do have the option of taking that ball for the second half.
Yes, that is a new rule this year, Rich, and I have seen it where Coach Capalbo has won the toss and elected to make his decision at halftime. On a day such as today, I really don't think that would be an important factor. However, if there was a windy day or heavy rain, then then it can be to your advantage to take the option for the second half.
And Somers will take the football to start off with. John Jay will kick off, and we're just about set for action. Quickly, that John Jay starting lineup. Tight end John Osmond, left tackle Rob Smith, Don Munt is the left guard, Roy Tysaver, the center. Mike Ranaclette, the right guard. Sal Candulo, the right tackle. Split end is an excellent, excellent football player. Mike Williams. We'll talk more about him as we go on. The quarterback, a junior who's matured tremendously over the first part of this season, Chris Salvatierra. And the slot back, Eric Newman, Joe Cuminelli, the fullback, and, of course, the halfback, another junior, Antron Smith, who is one of the best running backs in Westchester County. And Tom Baroni, as the homecoming crowd here assembles, what kind of game are you looking for this afternoon?
I expected, as both Tony and I pointed out in the pregame show, Rich, to be a low-scoring contest, primarily due to the field conditions here this afternoon. I look for it to be whoever comes out on top, not going to say who's going to win it, because I think both of these ball clubs are evenly matched. That'll be no more than about a 3-point victory for whoever comes out on top.
Okay, we're just about set on this cloudy, somewhat foggy afternoon. Tell you, coming up 684 this morning, Ron, had the upper beams on, couldn't see a thing, but...
my lights on going down Route 35. I'd just like to say one thing. I like to disagree with the Boomer. I think it's going to be a high score.
Okay.
All right, we're just about set to start this football game as Matt Kelly has it teed up on the 40-yard line, set to kick off. And we're just about set. We're certainly glad you're with us here in the VIP area. And on Cable 12, as we work down towards the end of this 1984 football season, big game here at Cross River. And we're just about set to kick it off as Kelly has his hand in the air, waiting for the whistle. And there it is. John Jay is set. And here's the kickoff. We're underway, end over end, straight down the middle of the field. And it's going to be taken by Cheka, who fumbles it, kicks it around. Now he's got to pick it up at the 5, tries to turn the corner right side, now straight down the middle of the field. And he is snowed under inside the 10-yard line at the 8.
He actually kicked that ball at the back of his heel, Rich, and it almost went to the end zone. He was lucky he was able to recover on that, gave John Jay more time to come down and cover the kick.
And as Jim Capalbo told us on the pregame, mistakes, of course, in any high school football game are key. There's a bit of a one right there. So Somers starts in a hole, 1st and 10 at their own 11-yard line.
Rich, the field conditions, I think, already came into a part there on the kickoff. Mr. Cheka having some problems with the slippery ball.
All right, Halloran has his team up, 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. We'll pick up the John Jay defense for you as we go. Kevin Halloran, the junior quarterback. First play from scrimmage. There's looked like some movement. They're going to give it to Cheka. Second, it's Eaton. Eaton has a nice hole. Eaton's still going, breaking tackles as he goes. He's got a first down. Somers out across the 25-yard line of the 27.
Yeah, he did a real nice job. Each team, as I looked at the scouting reports, are running a 4-4 defense. And now what they did that time is they went in motion, led the motion men up through the hole on their Delaware wing tee, hit off tackle. They got a good block on the outside backer, and he was able to pick up about 20 yards. Nice play.
1st and 10 for Somers as they've gotten out of trouble for the moment. They have it at the 24-yard line of John Jay. Somers moving from left to right away from the scoreboard here at the John Jay Field. As Halloran back to pass, looks quickly, throws over the middle, and it is complete. It's complete to Paul Geminer, and Geminer has it out across the 35 up to the 36, good for another first down. So Somers has run 2 plays, and they picked up 2 first downs. This one comes at the 35-yard line. So Somers, starting in a hole, has now gotten good field position out to their own 35.
There's going to have to be some adjustments made by John Jay's defense because this is a different type of offensive set than what Somers has showed the past 2 weeks.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line as they do some shifting. Scheideser goes out to the left side. Halloran calls signals. He gives this one again to Eaton. Eaton off the right side. Gets a couple of yards up to the 37-yard line.
That's the same play that got them out of the hole.
Where Mike Williams wrapped them up that time, along with some help from Chris Rep, the right inside linebacker. So a gain of 2, we'll say 2nd and 8 coming from the 37-yard line. We've played about 2 minutes, no score in the game. Somers has taken the opening kickoff, and they picked up a couple of first downs.
The field conditions, though, apparently aren't bothering Somers right now. They're running a lot of east-west type of offense, and they've been able to get their footing.
2nd and 8 from the 37. Halloran will give to Russell Liu his first call. Liu tripped up on a nice defensive play at the line of scrimmage by Matt Kelly. Liu able to fall forward to about the 40. And let's see now, they might be marking his knee down before that. Yes, they will at the 38-yard line. So only a short gain of 1. 3rd and 7 coming for Somers at the 38-yard line.
Rich, I think you have to look for both ball clubs to run it on the inside instead of going on the outside because they'll get more traction on the dirt from what I can tell than they will on the grass.
Okay, here comes 3rd and 7 from the 38. Big play here for Somers in this particular drive. Halloran back to pass, takes 1 step, looks, throws. A nice catch there, diving play by number 81, John Giardina. And he's going to be very close to first down yardage. Looks like they have it from here at the 45-yard line. As the nose of the ball right on the 45, and they signal first down Somers.
So the defensive back on that side, Chris Bates, is giving him too much cushion, and all he's doing is a stand-up, look-in type of pass. Actually, on the first play, Bates fell down, but it was enough for the first down this particular time. It's a nice play, and he's got to come up a little bit, not give quite as much cushion.
First and 10, Somers at their own 45. Here's the pitch out to Lou. Lou breaking one tackle across the 50. Still going inside John Jay territory across the 45, down to the 42-yard line. Russell Lou, the fullback, has another first down Somers. So the Somers Tuskers doing what they did last week to Kennedy. They scored on their first possession. They started this drive back on their 10-yard line. Now they have another first down, this one at the John Jay 42.
Holleran mixing things up here, Rich. I don't remember him throwing the ball too much last Saturday afternoon, but he's doing it here at the start.
Especially on this first drive. You're right, Tom. He's going pass, run, as the man in motion is Eaton. Here is Lou. Lou tries to find some running room off the right side. Falls across the 40 down to about the 39 for perhaps a gain of a yard. We have yet to see Tony Chayka carry the ball, which tells us something about this Somers drive. Short gain that time. Well, actually, they started from the 42. They get to the 40, so we'll say 2nd and 8 coming up. As the Somers Tuskers in the silver football pants, white jerseys, red numerals, silver helmets. John Jay in the white pants, purple jerseys, white numerals, and white helmets. 2nd and 8 from the 39, we'll call it. Holleran with a long count. There's that counter play to Chayka, and Chayka gets it down to the 34-yard line. That was the play that was their bread and butter play last week, that counter to Chayka. He broke a long one, 70-some-odd yards on it. This time he was tripped up after he got it down across the 35 to the 34. We'll say 3rd and 3 from just over the 35-yard line. They have to get it down to about the 32, so 3rd and a long 2, closer to 3. We've played 4.5 minutes, no score in the game. Somers has had the ball from the opening kickoff. Holleran with Chayka in motion to the left. Some stunning by John Jay, and they jump offside. We'll see now if they were drawn off.
It looked like movement on the white, Rich, but I don't know how the officials are going to see it.
Looks like they are going to call it against John Jay. There is a conference now, as flags all over the field, and they're going to say offsides against John Jay.
Looks like the culprit was Sal Condulo on that play.
I saw movement by the left guard on the white shirt, and, you know, the defensive men are schooled. Any first movement, they're going to come off the ball as quickly as they can. Maybe somebody missed that one, but they did call it against Jay, so he got first down.
And it's another first down for Somers. This one just inside the John Jay 30-yard line. We'll call it the 29. 1st and 10 for the Somers Tuskers. Remember, they started this opening drive back on their own 10-yard line. Holleran call signals 1st and 10 from the 30. He's going to give to Chayka. Chayka off the left side. Chayka with not too much doing that time as he looked to pick up some blockers. No gain on that play. Leading the defensive charge for John Big, Chris Detlefs, the right defensive tackle, number 78 in the purple jersey. So no gain on that play, perhaps a loss of a half a yard. We'll say 2nd and 10 coming from the 30.
That's a bread and butter play off the Delaware wing tee. That's what they call a tackle trap. The tackle trap, then the end leads through the hole prior to the ball carrier. John Jay made an adjustment on defense right away and was able to stop it right in the hole.
2nd and 10 for Somers from the John Jay 30-yard line. About 5 minutes gone by here, first quarter. Man in motion again is Chayka. Here's Holleran back to pass, looks, goes over the middle. It's knocked down. Knocked down and almost intercepted. A fine defensive play by Chris Rep, the right inside linebacker, of course, the son of assistant coach Mike Rep. As Mr. Rep there diving, almost came up with that football, Ron.
Yeah, it was almost a nice interception. He read it real well, got his hands up, was unable to hold on to the ball. He made a real nice defensive play.
So it'll be 3rd and 10. We have 6:27 to go. Clock is moving. It should be stopped on that incompleted pass. And it will be 3rd and 10 from the 30. Here is Holleran back to pass. Check it, calling signals, not back to pass yet. There he goes back to pass, rolling out to his left, under pressure, now throws back the other way. It's complete this time to 83, Tom Gorman. Gorman wrestled out of bounds over here on the near sideline by Mike Fitzgerald.
Screen play again, read well by Rep, and he actually made the play. He helped, he fought off the interference on that screen pass until help could arrive. Made another nice defensive play by Chris Rep.
It's a 5-yard gain on the pass play from Holleran to Gorman. Brings up a 4th and 5 now for Somers in 4-down territory here. And John Giordina has brought in the play from head coach Rich Canida.
That's the 3rd time in this possession that John Jay has fallen down on the screen pass. Ron, how are they going to counter that here this afternoon?
Well, they can counter it with the screen pass. One of the weaknesses against the 4-4 defense is a screen pass per se, and that hurts the 4-4 because it's an aggressive type of play.
Here's a pass on fourth down. It's complete to Eaton, but a nice submarine tackle over there by number 33, Chris Rep. And so the Somers drive has stalled here. John Jay coming up big on the 4th and 5. And so they take over the football, 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line.
That was 3 very important defensive plays on that drive made by Chris Rep.
Certainly a fine football player. We've enjoyed watching him here for a number of years. As John Jay now with their first offensive set, Chris Salvatierra, and before the play has gotten off, we have a flag thrown by the linesman on the far side. John Jay players are clapping, so perhaps one of the Somers players lined up offside as they start walking backwards.
Little fog rolling in, but one thing I would like to say at this time, you've enjoyed watching Chris Rep play the past 3 years. I've enjoyed watching him grow up. I've known him since he's been born. It's really interesting to see how these kids develop.
And, of course, Chris Rep and Lou Pesci have been assistant coaches here at John Jay, close to 20 years now, if not more. And both of their sons, along with Ron's son, came through the program here. A real family affair. Here's a 1st and 5. And the handoff goes to Coleman Alley. Coleman Alley has some good yardage, gets it up to the 38-yard line. First down, John Jay. So the J-men answer back with a first down on their first offensive play.
Again, there's another weakness. That's what you call the fullback bend, where they give to the fullback, he reads the flow of the linebackers on their reaction to the flow of the backfield, and the fullback bends it away from their flow.
1st and 10 for John Jay at their own 38-yard line as the J-men move from right to left towards the scoreboard, away from the Cross River Shopping Center, if you're familiar with the setup here at John Jay High School. Salvatierra calls the signals, 1st and 10 from the 38. He's going to give it to Coleman Alley again. And Coleman Alley not too much doing this time, stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
That was the same play, but looks like it bent the wrong way.
As John Sullivan, the left defensive tackle, getting up off the bottom of that pile, number 72 in white. He certainly played a fine game against Kennedy last Saturday. No gain, 2nd and 10 coming up. As we've got about 5 minutes to go here, first quarter, no score, but both teams moving well on this rather wet field, although we've certainly seen a lot worse. Perhaps, if anything, the field needed the rain. Last time we were here, Ron, it was a real dust bowl.
Now, this is a new formation of double tight end for John Jay.
Here's the handoff. Here's Antoine Smith. Smith breaking tackle. Smith has some room down the near sideline. He's at the 40. He has one man to beat it. He's knocked out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. Check it. Yeah, the 32. Here's Antoine Smith, his first carry. He's one of the many horses that head coach Jim Capalbo can call on. And the big junior has a first down, John Jay, inside Somers territory. They rule he went out of bounds at the 33-yard line.
And if John Jay set that time, which was the power eye, that's the exact same play that Somers ran at them from down on their own 10-yard line, where you would double isolate off the outside linebacker. Of course, with Smith's speed, he can break it to the outside.
1st and 10 for John Jay at the Somers 33. The J-men now on the move. Somers was stopped at the John Jay 20 a few minutes ago. Here is Coleman Alley, I believe. Let's check it. Number 20,
Bates.
20 or 22. It's Chris Bates, number 20 in there. And Bates with a yard or so from the 30. Well, actually, they rule no gain. He's down right at the 33. Perhaps a gain of a half a yard. We'll say 2nd and a long 9 coming here for John Jay at that Somers 33-yard line.
Rich, we point out in the pregame show, this is a game of the backs here this afternoon. Both these ball clubs have fine runners in the backfield, the 3 on Somers. John Jay has actually 4 that they'll be alternating here this afternoon, so we should be seeing, for the most part, a running game.
Now we're seeing some of the finest backs in Westchester County right on this field here this afternoon. Here's Antoine Smith taking the handoff, and Smith lunges to the 30-yard line at best. We'll see where they rule his forward progress. Might be the 31. Short gain. We'll give him a gain of 2. 3rd and 7 coming up now for the J-men. That ball is on the 31-yard line of Somers. As his first quarter moving very quickly, 3:49 to go. No score in the football game.
Interesting to note is now last Friday night, John Jay opened with a wide-open type of offense. Somers running basically the same defense. I think we're going to have to look for some motion and some twin sets.
All right, there's Michael Williams flank way out to the right side. We'll see if he's going to pass. He does. He's over the middle, and a nice diving catch there by Travis Wright. And we'll see. Wright rolled a few yards after he caught the football. We'll see where they mark his progress now, close to first down yardage. Had to get it down to about the 24 or 23-yard line. They're very close. And from the looks of the chain over there, well, I don't even want to speculate right here.
That's going to have to be a measurement on that one, Rich. We really can't tell from here. But even if it's not made, Coach Capalbo definitely will go for it. He's in a 4th-down territory.
As they bring out the chains, and we look across the way, Ron, a very nice crowd assembled here. Haven't seen this many people at John Jay in quite a long time. The bleachers are
About a wee bit short, Rich.
just a bit short on the measurement. Getting back Very nice crowd on a less than ideal day.
Well, again, it's a homecoming day, and also it's a neighboring community where people don't have to travel quite as far to go watch the hometown team play.
And, maybe we'll talk about that at halftime. It's great to see these neighborhood rivalries again because the crowds are out as opposed to a John Jay Lords or Spack and Kill or games like that. Here's a fourth down and very short yardage for John Jay. Big play here for them at the 24-yard line. And Antron Smith, he was stopped for a moment, then dove, lunged.
It's going to be the spot. If they gave him where he finished, he'll have the first down. If they had blown the whistle prior, there will be no first down.
It was second effort at best. That ball looks to be just about where it was before. We're going to have another measurement right here.
Yeah, his second effort would have given him the first down. However, I don't know if the official ruled the ball dead prior to the end of the play.
Okay, they bring the chains across, stretch them out, and I don't believe he made it. Nope, he was stopped by the same amount. Big defensive play for John Jay. So this football game starting off very similarly. Both teams have had very fine drives on their opening series. Both teams stopped on fourth down plays inside their opponent's 25.
Regardless of which team, I don't know if I could agree with the spot on that play, but there's nothing that we can do about it.
Well, I don't think you're totally objective, are you, Ron?
Yeah, I try to be.
Okay, nevertheless, Somers has the football back. Nice drive by John Jay. Just stopped there. And, of course, we've seen these teams moving pretty well here. Somers with the football back, first and 10 at the 24. Here's a pitch out to Russell Lou. Lou off the right side, runs into one of his own men. And actually then is joined by 4 John Jay Indians, led by Mike Fitzgerald, number 18. And also Matt Kelly walking away there, number 44 in blue.
With an east-west type of play such as that was, the sweep, it's going to take a period of time to develop. And with the type of slippery conditions and the aggressiveness of the Ford defense of John Jay, I really don't look for that particular play to be too successful today.
All right, gain of about a half a yard. We'll say second and a long 9 at the 25-yard line. Here is Chayka. Chayka tries to hurdle the line of scrimmage. It looked like Matt Kelly just stuck a big hand up and tripped him up there. Otherwise, Chayka might have been gone. Very fine play, Tom.
He had daylight there. Didn't get tripped up or stumbled. Whatever he did out there, I don't know. I think he was gone.
Saw a hand come out of the pile and grab a hold of him. I didn't get the number on him.
I think it might have been Kelly. They were knocking him on the helmet there, congratulating him. A gain of about 3 in the play. We'll say 3rd and 7 coming up right here. And that line of scrimmage is the 27-yard line. As we are under 2 minutes to go here, first quarter, still no score in the game. Halloran back to pass quickly, looks, throws over the middle, and it's grabbed there on a nice catch, running across by Mike Chichester, number 80. And he's got another first down for Somers. And, Ron, what is the advantage of that very short drop back that Halloran is using very well here?
The advantage on that particular pass is because they're playing against the 4-4 defense, the same as their own. It puts the outside linebacker in a real bind. He has to come off for a walk-off type of position, and when he does that, it weakens the off tackle for the run. If he doesn't do it, it leaves the pass wide open.
Here is Eaton taking the handoff on 1st and 10 from the 38, and Eaton has about a yard or so. Actually, it was 1st and 10 from the 37. He gains a yard to the 38, so 2nd and 9 coming up now for Somers.
Each time we have seen that particular formation from Somers, which is new, Rich, this week, put in by Coach Gennady. They have not run the ball off of it yet. They have thrown the pass 3 times.
2nd and 9 for Somers at their own 38-yard line. Under a minute to go here, first quarter. Very fast first period of play. All right, Halloran calls a signal, and he's going to give to Lou. Lou is pulled down behind the line of scrimmage by Matt Kelly. Fine defensive play by the left outside linebacker of John Jay, Mr. Kelly. We've mentioned his name a few times already this afternoon. First loss actually tacked on to Somers as they go back to the 36-yard line. Loss of a couple, we'll say 3rd and 12 coming up. As Kelly that time breaking into that backfield. So a 3rd and 12 now, and we'll see what Somers, if they're going to put it up there. Halloran right back to pass, drop backs, throws over to the near sideline, intended for Gorman. Gorman, let's see now, actually was juggling that ball. As he went out of bounds, they ruled it a catch, but it's a short gain only up to about the 41-yard line. They'll be well short of the first down. It'll be 4th and 7. And clock shows 13 seconds to go, and it is stopped as the young man went out of bounds.
If they are going to punt, which I assume they will, they'll be very smart to keep the ball away from Michael Williams.
Well, Michael Williams and Chris Rep going back to field this punt as Tom Gorman will kick for Somers. Mr. Williams, of course, has broken 2 or 3 long ones on kickoffs and punts this year. Whoop, as looks like one of the Somers men jumped off. And I believe that's going to cost the Tuskers 5 yards. We spoke to Rich Knight on the on the pregame show this afternoon. He was a little bit concerned with the number of penalties against his team last week against Kennedy. Tom, you remember we had numerous penalties. Didn't really matter in a 33-0 game, but of course in a game like this, he can ill afford mistakes like that.
Well, it's going to be a totally different situation here this afternoon if Coach Ganida's ball club does experience the amount of penalties they had against Kennedy last Saturday afternoon.
And
I would look any time that Somers is going to kick the ball, whether it be on a punt or a kickoff, they will not kick to Michael Williams.
Williams standing right in the center of the field there, looking to go either side. Here is Gorman's kick, and they do kick it away from Williams. We'll see, and Chris Rep very wisely lets that bouncing football roll, and it gets a nice roll down to about the 21-yard line. So John Jay will put it in play 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. Clock shows 2 seconds to go here, first period. And we'll wait for the official word on the end of the quarter. But John Jay has the football back. No score here at our VIP Cable 12 game of the week. As apparently that will be the end of the first quarter. So we've completed 12 minutes of football. Our score after 1, John Jay nothing and Somers nothing.
If you're selling your house, be sure to talk to the folks at Plaza Weichert Realtors in Mount Kisco. Nobody sells more real estate in the metropolitan area than Weichert. The statistics are impressive, and at Plaza Weichert Realtors, they know your house represents one of the largest single investments you're ever likely to make. They are proud to represent one of the finest, most distinctive, and diversified communities in America. So, if you're selling or buying your home in Mount Kisco, call on the professionals at Plaza Weichert Realtors at 241-3500. That's 241-3500. Plaza Weichert Realtors deliver for you.
And Ron Lyons, I see Chris Rep over on the far sideline with his helmet off, and he's got the same red hair as his dad does, huh?
Tough to tell any of those reps apart.
And we see the players without their helmets so infrequently. Nice to see the fine faces on these young men. We see them with the helmets on, and don't get too often to see them without those helmets. As we go 1st and 10 now from the 21-yard line. John Jay now moving from left to right, away from the scoreboard.
It's like an equipment timeout by the official.
As Antron Smith trots off to the far sideline, Tom.
And Ron and Rich, while we have this time, we looked in the rule book and found out that in high school football, if the defensive player jumps over the line before the ball is snapped on the call we had back there, it automatically goes against the defensive player, unlike college and professional football.
That's true.
Once you go into the neutral zone, the flag is thrown.
The whistle is blown and the ball automatically becomes good.
All right, we're set to go here for the first play in this second quarter. No score in this football game. Both teams moving well. Both teams having drives stalled deep in the opponent's territory. John Jay now starts this drive, 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. Salvatierra will give to the first man through, and it looked like Kumanali that time. And Kumanali, not too much doing, stacked up for the line of scrimmage, number 63 in white, leading the charge. Pete Pappas, a linebacker for Somers. Gain of a couple of yards, 2nd and 8 coming up at the 23-yard line. As we just started this second period, no score in the game.
A lot of defensive hitting out there, a lot of hard hitting. As a matter of fact, it's the hardest hitting I've seen so far in the games we've covered.
Both teams are running a 4-4 defense, and both teams are stunting with just about every down.
2nd and 8 from the 23-yard line. John Jay's own 23. Salvatierra calls the signals. He's going to go back to pass. Looks downfield. Throws over the middle. There's Williams, who has the step. Williams runs underneath. Has the football. He's at the 30, the 25. Williams is going to go all the way. Touchdown, John Jay. It is a 77-yard touchdown pass from Salvatierra to Williams as he threw the ball high in the air. Williams ran underneath. 77 yards on the play. John Jay leads it 6-0. And I'll tell you, I've been looking forward all week long, Ron, to watching this kid play, and he has not disappointed me.
Once you get the ball to Michael Williams, too many things can happen. There is nobody on the field. Antron Smith, anybody that can catch Michael Williams. He's absolutely the fastest kid on the field. I've said this from the beginning of the season. He's a major college prospect. He has the speed. He has the hands. He has the ability to catch the ball. He does just about everything right.
Here's Radiclev trying the PAT out of the hold of Doug Plaskett. John Jay's had a little bit of problem with their conversions this season. Now they come over from the left side, line up along the middle of the field, waiting for the snap. Here it comes. Ball placed down. Kick up in the air. This one is good as Radiclev drills it through. So as they come back up the field with 49 seconds gone by here in the second quarter, the score, John Jay 7, Somers, nothing.
After the game today, head on over to Chuck's Steakhouse in Bedford Hills. They're ready for you with the finest in prime ribs, steaks, top sirloin, New York strips, and steak teriyaki. Plus generous fish dinners and even whole lobsters. And don't forget Chuck's sumptuous salad bar, the first and still the best around. Enjoy the comfortable atmosphere, friendly service, and great food and drink of Chuck's Steakhouse, 728 North Bedford Road, Route 117 in Bedford Hills. Call ahead if you wish. Call 241-1826. Chuck's Steakhouse after the game today or any day. You'll love it.
Rich, prior to that particular play, I had made a remark to myself and not to anyone else that the defensive backs from Somers kept creeping up very quickly because they were aggressive getting it on the running play. That's only the second pass that Salvatierra threw. Coach Capalbo saw it, or it came from upstairs. It could almost dictate that it was going to come, and with Michael Williams' speed, nobody's going to catch it.
Well, we had a great angle on it. We saw Williams running underneath. Here's Kelly's kickoff as he goes towards the left side, where it is Eaton over there. Check it, number 42, Gabiner, taking it to 10, gets it across the 25 up to about the 30-yard line, where Mike Fitzgerald, who's been in on numerous tackles so far, has brought him down. Mike Fitzgerald, Ron, is blossoming into a very fine defensive football player.
Fitzgerald's done a nice job this year. He's a senior. He's bided his time. He had his opportunity. He's made the best of it. On the kickoff, it might be interesting to note, and I've been watching the past 4 or 5 by John Jay. The first one down there I've noticed all the time is Gene Rosaport, number 21. He's always been in on the hit or on the first hit.
First and 10 for Somers, right at the 30-yard line as they move right to left in the white jerseys. Here is Halloran. He'll give it straight ahead to the fullback, Russell Liu. And Liu wrapped up by Matt Kelly after a gain of about 3 up to the 23-yard line. So we'll say 2nd and 7 coming up now for Somers. That Somers team has just been burned on a 77-yard touchdown pass from Salvatierra to Michael Williams. And I just can't believe he's only a junior, Ron Lyons.
Who, Michael Williams?
Yeah.
No, Michael's a senior.
Oh, Michael is a senior.
Yes,
No wonder I can't believe it, because he is a senior. All right. Thinking of Antron Smith, who's a junior.
That's correct.
Okie-doke. As Williams playing center field here on the defense. Here is Eaton. Eaton has one man to beat, and Eaton with a nice run gets it across the 40-yard line up to about the 41, where Fitzgerald just tripped him up as Hal Eaton showing us some good running. We haven't seen too much of Tony Chayka so far this afternoon, Tom. I'm wondering if he perhaps is a little bit shaken up.
Well, Tony Chayka is the back that normally carries the counterplay for Somers. They've only run it once, so possibly that's the reason why.
Okay. So he has 2 70-yard plus runs this year.
Now, I guess they ran a lot of counter plays against Kennedy last Saturday afternoon. Mr. Chayka had a superb afternoon.
All right, here comes a first down play for Somers at their own 41-yard line. Man in motion is Eaton off to the right. Here's that short drop back and quickly thrown over the middle. Halloran looking for Tom Gorman, and it's incomplete. Wow, that's a tough pass to complete. Somers going to it quite often here in the early going.
Well, it's the same type of pass, only it's off a different set. This is off the double tight or 2 tight end set, and he has to run out through the linebacker, and Mike Rannicliffe out there just would not let him get into his pattern, and it broke off the timing of the play.
All right, 2nd and 10 for Somers at the 41-yard line. 9.5 to go here, second quarter. John Jay leading it. Here is Eaton again. Eaton off the right side. Eaton breaking tackles, puts his head down, and lunges across the 45-yard line up to about the 47.
Pretty hard run by that youngster.
Yeah, Hal Eaton. And as Rich Ganitta told us on the pregame, people talk about Jacob, but of course you've got Russell Liu back there as well as Hal Eaton. Tom mentioned it as well. They have 3 very fine running backs in that backfield with junior quarterback Kevin Halloran. And we have a whistle. Somebody being chased back on the bench. I think it's like Lou Pesci, perhaps, or either he or Mike Rep coming
Somebody
up.
lost a chin strap.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okey-doke. And number 75 for John Jay.
Joe Achilles.
Achilles picking up his chin strap. Now we're about set to go. Clock shows 9:11 to go here, second quarter. And actually both teams now being asked to step back behind the restraining line. Looks like a couple of yards there between the sideline and the...
That always baffled me when I was coaching. Kids have to be right up next to the field. You can see it just as well from a yard deeper.
Here's Eaton again off the right side, and Eaton will be short of the first down as he gets it up to midfield.
Of course, when I was coaching, I was usually out by the hash mark anyhow.
with that same hat that lasted for 18. Where is that hat now?
The old
by the way?
beat-up hat?
Where is that hat?
I don't know where it is. I didn't throw it out, but I don't know where it is. It's someplace.
All right, fourth down play coming here for Somers at the 50-yard line. Looks like they're going to kick the football away as Tom Gorman stands back in
My
punt
wife
formation.
got it bronzed.
I thought maybe it was out of Canton in the Football Hall of Fame. Here's Gorman with the wobbly kick, and it's going to bounce again. And Rep, again, wisely will let the ball roll, and it gets a very fine roll inside the 5-yard line down to the 3. Flag is on the play, so we'll check out the penalty. But again, Mr. Gorman has done a nice job kicking, getting good rolls on both of his punts.
Well, if that is a dead ball foul, then it would be John Jay's ball. But if it's a live ball, it could possibly wind up being back to Somers. But from the position of the flag, it looks like it's going to be an illegal block call. Either blocking below the waist or a clip.
All right, they're sorting out the penalty here. And we'll wait for the official word with 8:23 to go here, second quarter.
And, Rich, as we look down the sidelines behind the track, we see that the Lewisboro ambulances are loading somebody. I don't know if it is an injured player or whether or not it is someone from the stands.
Must
We'll
be
have to check on that.
Somebody from the stands
Must
in
have.
possession of where that is.
Yeah, I haven't seen any injured player. And let's see now. The Somers player is pretty happy because I think that penalty is going to go against John Jay, and I think it's going to give Somers a first down here, Ron.
It was a live ball foul. The ball was not blown dead, or no possession had changed place. Therefore, it's a continuance of the original play, making it an illegal block here, a 5-yard penalty, but Somers retains possession of the ball.
Well, that could be a big play. Instead of giving it up, Somers has a first and 10 at the John Jay 36. So we'll see if the Somers Tuskers can take advantage of that. They trail in the game 7-0 with 8:23 to go here, second quarter.
It's another one of those weird rulings in this interesting game. It's one that when I was coaching, never agreed with, but no one has made any attempt to change it thus far. And when it works in your favor, it's certainly a great rule, but when it works against you, it's not very good.
When you have a situation like that, I think it's just as good as a turnover.
Oh, it is. It is the same thing as the foul, of course, creates the turnover.
All right, here's Halloran on the first down play. Play action, rolls out to his left. He's going to run it. He's got some room. He's at the 30. He's inside the 30 and pushed out of bounds. Nice defensive play
I lost the bowl game on that exact call.
by Chris Bates. So the one against Austin?
The one against Austin, yeah.
Okay. As Halloran looks like he had run on his mind all the time. As he gets it inside the 30, he looks to gain 6 as he goes from the 36 to the 29, actually a gain of 7. So 2nd and 3 coming up here for Somers at the 29-yard line of John Jay. Somers was down deep earlier, missed on a 4th and 5. Now they're knocking on the door again. 7:52 to go here, second quarter. 7-0, John Jay leading it. All right, Halloran calling signals. Second down from the 29. Here's Chayka. Chayka wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage and ushered to the grass here. Number 34 again. David Caviola, right outside linebacker, only a junior, leading that charge for John Jay. They look to be keying on Anthony Chayka here this afternoon. Of course, Jimmy Capalbo was at that game last Saturday, Somers Kennedy. And that's the best way to prepare a scouting report is go to the game yourself.
That's why I believe those first series of downs gave him a little bit of problems because he was not ready for that particular formation.
All right, here's Halloran rolling out on
Second
3rd
option.
and 5. It might be the option play. Flag is down. Halloran keeps it himself. And it's brought down behind the line of scrimmage as Kelly and number 63 in purple, Don Munt, led the charge. We'll check out the penalty right here. And it looks like a holding call is going to go against Somers. So now the option for John Jay will either be 3rd, I guess, in about 5, or 2nd and 20.
No, I think it would be 4th and about 7,
it would be
Rich,
4th?
or it would be 3rd and about 20.
Oh, that was the 3rd down play. That's correct. Looks like they're going to take the 15-yard penalty. I guess those 15-yarders are pretty tough to decline, Ron.
Anytime you get a 15-yarder, unless it's a change of possession of the ball, you normally take it.
So that's going to hurt Somers. And again, the old penalty bugaboo hurting Somers. We mentioned it on the pregame show. Richard Ganitis said he doesn't mind the penalties when they are of the aggressive nature, but it's those mental mistakes that kill you. So now it's 3rd and long yardage. Line of scrimmage is the John Jay 48, and they have to get it down to the 26. So I guess that's 3rd and 22.
Rich, one has to wonder if it's been a persistent problem for Coach Ganitas' ball club thus far this season, the penalties.
There's a screenplay developing, and they've got it to Lou at the 50. Lou down the far sideline at the 40. Lou inside the 40 to the 38, where he's upended by Mike Williams. And also leading the charge there for John Jay, Mike Ranaclev, the left inside linebacker. So it'll be a 4th down now, 4th and about 13 coming here for Somers. Line of scrimmage at the John Jay 37, so decision time for head coach Rich Ganida. Do you go for it here and give John Jay pretty good field position?
He's got to kick this.
Try to punt it away. And they will kick it away and play field position football here. Only one touchdown difference. About
Too early in the game.
halfway through the second quarter. Here's a wobbly snap. Here they come. And Gorman does a nice job of getting it away. Ball bounces high, and once again, Williams and Rep wisely let it roll away. And once again, Gorman with a great roll, and he's got it inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. I'll tell you couldn't walk down there and place it any better than Gorman is kicking it, Ron.
Well, the only thing we did there is on the exchanges, wasted a little bit of time because that's about where the ball was originally spotted before the live ball foul. Coach Capalbo will be a little conservative bringing it out of this part of the field because it is a muddy portion of the field, and he is on his own 4-yard line. I would look for the fullback bend or something straight ahead by Antron Smith.
All right, we've got 6:10 to go, second quarter. John Jay on the long touchdown pass leads it 7-0. Fine football game here at John Jay High School. Glad you're with us in the VIP area. There is Antron Smith taking the handoff. Smith has one man to beat. Smith breaking tackles down the far sideline. He's at the 25. One man to beat. Puts his head down. Smith has it all the way out to the 35-yard line. Well, you were right about Antron Smith, Ron, but we didn't expect the big gainer as he went off the left side.
He can't afford to gamble down there, so he had to come with a straight-ahead type of power play exactly as it was, and Antron broke it outside and was able to beat the outside back into the corner. And the defensive back had an angle on him, or else he would have been gone.
As Antron Smith gets John Jay out of trouble all the way out from the 4 to the 33-yard line. Big play for the J-men as they have some breathing room now. Salvatore on the first down. Has the boys up 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. There's the end around to Mike Williams. Williams has some room. He's got some blockers. Williams at the 50. Williams hurdles at the 45 and down to the 40-yard line. Well, they end around to Michael Williams, and when you have an athlete like that, you like to get him the ball as often as you can.
As many ways as you can.
And we had a beautiful angle on that as they were running right towards us here in the John Jay Tower. We saw the blocking wall set up, and some good pursuit by Somers, and again, Williams would have been gone. I'll tell you something, if you fans have not had a chance to see Michael Williams, you've got a couple of weeks after this one, John Jay home against Byram Hills next week, and then at Kennedy. This kid is going to be making some noise as he gets into his football career. 1st and 10 at the 42 of Somers. John Jay with the football. Here is Antron Smith. Smith off the left side. Gets it down to the 40-yard line as he's stopped on the play by Tom Gorman, number 83, coming from his linebacking position. Very fine co-captain for head coach Rich Ganida.
That was the exact play he broke from the 4-yard line with the same fall.
And a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 as we have 5:19 to go. Second quarter. John Jay leads it 7-0.
I'd look for a pass on this play, Rich. Just a guess.
Okay. You don't have a direct line to Van Muller
not
upstairs?
today.
Okay.
I think it's a good time to throw the ball.
All right. We've got a young man flanked out here to the right side. Man in motion is Travis Wright. There's Salvatore. No, he's going to give it straight ahead to Smith. And Smith, nothing too much doing. About to the line of scrimmage, perhaps a yard. As in there on the stop for Somers was number 44, Tony Cheka, I believe. Perhaps 54. We'll check it out. Might have been Dan McCarron. Nevertheless, no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and about 7 coming here for John Jay.
Salvatore is throwing for 100% right now.
That's right. 1 for 1, 77 yards.
He completed a little 7-yarder earlier to Travis Wright.
That's right. 2 for 2 for...
See, now he might be forced to throw, and Somers, of course, is going to know that.
All right. 3rd and 7 at the 40-yard line. Salvatore will go back to pass. Looks downfield. There's the look into Williams. Williams has the ball. He's exciting. He's at the 30. Williams puts the move on. Still on his feet. Williams is impossible to bring down all the way down to the 25. Might have fumbled the football, and he did. And Somers recovers. Well, maybe one move too many that time by Michael Williams. He made a beautiful catch and run as he went laterally across the field. And we didn't see the ball fumbled, Ron, but we saw the Somers players reacting.
When he was doing his moves, he had too many white shirts coming around him, and as he's doing that, he really doesn't have control. His arms are swinging. Somebody must have just hit the ball and it popped out in the pile.
He is certainly an exciting football player.
Electrifying person.
When he gets his hands on that ball. All right, 1st and 10 for Somers as they get a bit of a reprieve here. 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line. And there it is again, Ron, just as Somers is lined up for the play.
You know what it is? It's my favorite.
We have 4-minute warning. That's why I'm saying it. It seems every time we're together, the same thing happens. Looking back to that first week. And we're going to have 4 minutes to go, and we'll go to a quick word from Tony Vincent.
Get the ugly out of your car with Z-Bart's VIP Car Care Maintenance Program. Z-Bart washes, waxes, and polishes the exterior vacuums and shampoos the interior, degreases the engine, even powers vacuums the trunk. Z-Bart's VIP car care program is specially priced right now for just $129. You'll save over $60. Z-Bart also has caps for pickup trucks and protective liners for your pickup truck bed. Z-Bart on North Broadway in White Plains and Green Lane across from the ShopRite entrance in Bedford Hills.
Here's Tony Chayka taking that first down. Play is just tripped up at the 35-yard line, or he might have broken it. We've had a lot of almost in this football game this afternoon. Number of saving tackles. That's the first time we've seen Tony Chayka with some room, Tom. He almost broke that one, picked up a first down. Somers out to the 39-yard line.
Looks like there was a counter play, as Ron Lyons pointed out. Counter play all the time. Rich Ganiota usually will give the ball to Mr. Chayka.
All right, first and 10 at the 39. Somers looking to get some points on the board before halftime. Here's Russell Lou, tries to turn the corner right side, in traffic, and down he goes for no gain. Lou looking to turn the corner on the wide side or right side of the field that time, and he was pulled down by Don Munt. So it'll be second down coming up, perhaps a loss of a half a yard. Second and 11.
That particular play, again, with this type of field condition and the quickness of the John Jay defense is really not going to be that successful this afternoon. They've got too far to go. It's an east-west type of offensive play, and there's just too much quickness by the purple people.
2:52 to go here, second quarter, second and 11 from the 38-yard line. Very fast-moving first half here at John Jay High School. Here's Haller, and there's a
double counter crisscross.
Reverse, but nothing doing at all. Chayka could not get away from number 63 in purple, Don Munt, the left defensive end.
That's a dangerous play. The ball changes hands too many times.
John Jay doing a good job, Ron, of corralling Mr. Chayka so far this afternoon. As we said, he's broken a couple for 70-plus yards. Here comes a third and 13 for Somers at the 37-yard line. As Halloran calls the signals, he is going to go back to pass off a play action. He is in trouble, dancing around, now throws, and it is going to be incomplete.
Intercepted.
Oh, what about a flag? Here is Kelly running the ball. As the official threw the flag, it looked like Chris Bates had that play time beautifully. Lou Pesci is out on the field. He better watch out or he'll pick up a 15-yarder.
I certainly don't agree with that, Rich. I know it went against John Jay, but he has as much right to that football when it's in the air as the offensive man does. He timed it, he went up, he went through the football, and well, it's just unfortunate. The official's a little closer than I was, but I don't agree with it.
It was close, I'll tell you. The ball was tipped and then grabbed by Kelly in midair, but they're going to call it pass interference 15 yards against John Jay. Not the most popular call here in front of the homecoming crowd.
Can we put that on instant replay?
What?
We have the video. Jerry, roll that on video.
Jerry will roll it for us
Okay.
on the videotape.
All right.
Would like to see that one again. I guess we'll have to wait till during the week. First and 10 at the 48, so Somers gets a bit of a break here. They'll take it. First and 10 at the John Jay 48. With 2 minutes to go, here's the counter to Chayka. Fumbles the football, and it's recovered by John Jay.
Can't take that one away.
Chris Detlefs falls on the ball as Chayka fumbles.
There's your counter play again, Tom, and they got right in the middle of the handoff to Chayka coming back on the counter.
Ron, getting back to the play where Somers got the ball on the penalty, most of the time when the defender is coming over the back, you have to look at who's always going against him on such a situation
If
as
he
we
made
just had.
contact with the body, yeah, but prior to making contact with the ball. But as way I saw it anyhow, as Bates came over, he made contact with the ball, then his momentum carried him into the body.
Perhaps the official saw the other hand, but maybe hooked
The
around a
official
little
saw
bit.
it the other way.
Whatever. As an official, I know that you're always going to disappoint somebody. Here's Salvatierra back to pass on first down. Looks, throws, and it's incomplete. And they did rule that as a forward pass as Salvatierra was hit just as his arm went forward. And that could have been tough, as that ball was a free ball. Could have been intercepted, but it falls incomplete. First and 10 at the 50.
Tough call out there. I don't know about that one, Rich.
We've seen some interesting plays here in this football game, both ways.
I thought his arm was going forward. Regardless, it was covered. It's always going to sound like I'm going for the jet. But regardless, it was covered by a purple shirt anyhow, so they still would have maintained possession.
All right, a minute and a half to go here in this very exciting first half, even though we've only had one touchdown on the board. Second and 10 from the 50-yard line. John Jay's football moving left to right. Williams flanked out here to the right side. Salvatierra looks to throw, complete to right in the backfield at the 50. Wright gets it down inside Somers territory to about the 45. For a gain of 5. That's another kind of dangerous play, Ron, because that football went backwards. That's also a free ball if Wright doesn't find the handle.
You also have the option of throwing the ball off of that same play again. But what had happened because of the motion type of pattern and Somers being, of course, wary of the pass, they had cleared that particular zone out. So Travis Wright had actually became a more of a safety valve type of release because the linebacker had bailed back to cover his flat area.
John Jay has called a timeout with 1:19 to go. They lead 7-0, and I know Ron has someone to say hello to. He might be at the game, Ron. I understand the principal here at John Jay, Mr. Chambers, a little bit under the weather. And we don't know if he's here or not on this raw day, but you want to say hello to him anyway?
We certainly would. If he is not able to be here this afternoon, he's probably listening on the radio. We'd certainly like to say hello to him.
Okay, and I'd like to say hello to someone listening, one of the finest soccer officials in Westchester County, Ted Gale, listening this afternoon. I'll be having a little lunch right now with his lovely wife, Kathy. So
just inform Rich that our principal is here.
Oh, okay, very good.
So we'll say hello anyhow.
Happy to hear that. And we have a timeout right here. Ted Gale reffed the Somers Rise soccer game this morning in the sectionals. Don't know how that came out, but Ted, hope you had a good one. As
I'd like to say at this time also on our other field, adjacent to the football field, our girls field hockey right now is competing against John F. Kennedy in a Section 1 field hockey game. Our boys soccer team is over at Hendrick Hudson playing them in a Section 1 soccer game right now.
That's a tough game. Both teams very well coached and very well skilled. Here comes the third down from the 45. Salvatore looks to pass, throws to, Williams drops that one. Might have just looking for running room a little bit too early on.
He was trying to run with it before he caught it, yes. And if he did catch that ball, I think that Somers would have had problems.
So it'll bring up a fourth down play with 1:14 to go here, second quarter. And we'll see what head coach Jim Cataldo is going to do right here.
I think call Jim Cataldo right there, but that particular time was just looking for the first down because there still is about 1:14 left to play in this quarter.
It's a 4th and 5, and those are the ball just short of the Somers 45. And it looks like John Jay will go for it right here. Salvatore has the boys up, 4th and 5 from the 45-yard line. Salvatore back to pass. Williams is one-on-one. There's that home run ball again to Williams. He's got the step. He's got the football. Williams is in there. Touchdown, John Jay. A 45-yard touchdown pass. Salvatore to Williams coming on a 4th and 5. John Jay leads it 13-0.
Also, tell me Salvatore can't throw. He's laid the ball out there beautifully twice.
Richie Ganitis standing on the near sideline, hands on hips. He had just tried to get his defensive backs to watch out for that one. I'll tell you, amazing the way Williams runs underneath that ball, Tom Barone.
I'll tell you what, I think everybody in the stands knew that play had to be coming. Smart call by Jim Capalbo, Richie Ganitis secondary. Obviously, right now, from what I can see, cannot put up with Mr. Williams. They're going to have to do something about going into the second half, or it's going to be a long afternoon.
Touchdown comes with only a minute 6 to go in the second quarter. You know that one has to hurt. Here's Ranaklev trying the kick. It's up in the air, and it is good.
Partially blocked, and it still went through.
Ranaklev 2 for 2. So as they come back up the field with a minute 6 to go until halftime, the score now, John Jay 14 and Somers nothing.
If you're selling your house, be sure to talk to the folks at Plaza Weichert Realtors in Mount Kisco. Nobody sells more real estate in the metropolitan area than Weichert. The statistics are impressive, and at Plaza Weichert Realtors, they know your house represents one of the largest single investments you're ever likely to make. So they are proud to represent one of the finest, most distinctive, and diversified communities in America. So if you're selling or buying your home in Mount Kisco, call on the professionals at Plaza Weichert Realtors, 241-3500. Plaza Weichert Realtors deliver for you.
Okay, lightning has struck again for the second time. Another long touchdown pass, and you're right, Ron. We've been busy talking about Mike Williams, but Chris Salvatore on both of those passes threw that ball out beautifully. And I'll tell you, he has really matured from that first week of the season when we saw him against Fox Lane. Here's a short kick taken at the 20-yard line by Gaminer. Gaminer almost has it stripped away, now gets it up to about the 35-yard line. Paul Gaminer with a nice run back, and they rule that he's down at the 34. So Somers now, with 1 minute to go here until halftime, finds himself down by 2 touchdowns. And we'll see what they're going to do here to try to get some points on the board before halftime. It is homecoming here at John Jay. We'll have some floats as they're assembling over here to our left. Second straight week we've been involved in a homecoming afternoon. And fans here are certainly going to enjoy themselves at halftime. But back to play, 1st and 10 at the 34. Man in motion is is Eaton. Here's Halloran back to pass, looks, throws, and it is incomplete. Intended for Eaton at the 40-yard line. Chris Bates defending on the play with some help from Paviola. So it's an incompleted forward pass, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
I'll tell you, on that particular defensive set where John Jay dropped off, they played what we call a 5-under. They had 5 defensive backs. With the flow coming this way, everything was open to the backside. If somebody upstairs sees this, there's a possible throwback to the quarterback or leaking some type of coverage back.
Here's Halloran back to pass, looking to get out of trouble. Flag is down. He breaks one tackle, gets up to the 40. We might have some holding here called, as flag was thrown by the official, and it is going to be holding against Somers. So that'll push him back 15.
Once again, the penalties coming into a play. Obviously, at this point of the contest, Rich, going to hurt Richie Unitas Ball Club. And I want to take time out right now to ask Ron Lyons, going into halftime, 14-0 down, all the offense being generated mainly in the first half here by John Jay and Mike Williams. What is Coach Ganiota and his defensive coordinators going to tell his secondary?
Well, I think he's going to tell him that, you're down 2 touchdowns, and it's been basically the same play. That John Jay has moved the football, yes, but they really haven't moved it for the big play as they have been doing over the past several weeks. I think he's got that pretty much in check. He'll review that, and I think he's just going to review his secondary coverage. He's still in the football game. He's only down by 2. And, of course, with 2-point conversions in high school, you never can tell what will happen.
All right, the penalty moves him back to the 15-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 30 coming up here for Somers. Halloran back to pass, looks, throws, and it is going to be complete to Chayka. Chayka has some room out here at the 35, across 35 and 37, where he stays in bounds. And Somers jumps in to call a timeout. Timeout coming with only 12 seconds to go until halftime. John Jay leading it here 14-0 on 2 long pass plays from Chris Salvatierra to Mike Williams. One for 77 yards and one for 45. And head coach Richie Ganiota now joining that Somers huddle, and Mike Rep coming out to speak to his John Jay defense. John Jay looking to pick up win number 6 in a row. Remember, they lost that first game of the year to Fox Lane 7-6 on a wet day at Fox Lane High School, and since then it's been nothing but victories. And certainly very happy for head coach Jimmy Catalbo, as he is now in his 3rd year here at the helm, or 4th?
This is his 3rd.
His 3rd year. Of course, Van Muller coached for a couple of seasons, and kind of a tough act to follow with Ron Lyons, who had been here for 18 seasons, a legend in his own right, 108 victories, and not easy for anybody to step in. And happy to see Jimmy Catalbo now tasting the fruits of his long, hard work.
When he first took the position 3 years ago, these boys that are seniors, many of them he brought to the varsity as sophomores, and he did pay the price for a couple of years before he could start reaping some of these benefits.
3rd and 8. The clock shows 9 seconds to go. Somers has the football at their own 37-yard line. This might be the final play of the second quarter. We'll see. John Jay has their backs pretty deep to avoid being burned. Here's Halloran back to pass, rolling to his left, looks, throws, and it's going to be complete.
He was out of bounds when he caught it.
And they're going to rule incomplete. He did have 1 foot. Well, I thought you only had to have 1 foot in, Ron.
Well, he was standing with 1 foot out of bounds. He only has to have 1 foot on the playing field. If the other one is in the air or if his momentum would have carried him out, he only has to get with 1 foot. That particular situation, he was straddling the white line where 1 foot was planted out of bounds.
Okay, clock is stopped now with 3 seconds to go. So this will most likely be our final play, a 4th down play here. And Somers will go for it, because this should be the final play of the half. Here's Halloran back to pass again. Looks, throw. Nope, he escaped one man. Now he's in trouble, and down he goes hard.
Super hit.
As Joe McKilley, the left defensive tackle, ushers Mr. Halloran to the ground, and that is it. That's the final play of the second quarter, the final play of the first half. As the big crowd here at John Jay High School gets set for the homecoming festivities. And our score at halftime, John Jay 14 and Somers nothing.
Very much, Rich. Once again, halftime here at the John Jay High School in Cross River, New York. As the Indians of John Jay are on top right now, quite handedly over the Tuskers of Somers, 14-0. Basically, what it has been here in the first, all offense for the Indians of John Jay. Mike Williams, of course, generating all that offense. Briefly, recap the scoring in the first quarter. It was a scoreless first quarter. Both offenses did try to generate some but the defenses for both clubs doing quite well. In the second quarter, well, that's when we saw the scoring take place. Obviously, John Jay doing it all. The J-men getting on the board on a 77-yard TD pass from Chris Salvatierra to Mike Williams at the 11-11 mark. The PAT by Mike Ranaclav was good. The Indians on top of the Tuskers 7-0. The second score ditto on the same type of play, even though it was not by the same amount of yardage. 45 yards in this case. TD pass from Chris Salvatierra to Mike Williams once again with only 1:06 left to go before the intermission. Mike Williams being, of course, the spark here in the first half for John Jay. The PAT by Mike Ranaclav once again good. That is where we stand at halftime right now at homecoming here at the John Jay High School. The Indians on top once again 14-0 over the Tuskers of Somers, who had a lot of penalties, which has been the case for this ball club. We saw them last Saturday afternoon against Kennedy, even though it did not really cause too much
of the decade.
Nobody else in the stadium or in the field, Ken, but I think Somers can put some points on the board. I don't think it's over. I think Somers is going to come out, and they're going to be tough, although John Jay will be receiving the ball, right, beginning second half?
Yes, I believe that is, yes. Somers took that opening kickoff, so that, of course, they'll have to stop them. And, let's give credit here also to John Jay, as we have before. They've got some fine athletes. They've been working hard, and I'm sure these kids are ecstatic. Once again, we are at halftime here at John Jay High School. A bit of a delay as we see the John Jay team now back coming onto the field. We've had homecoming festivities. That's why we're running a little bit late. So stay with us. We have a good ball game going, 14-0. And again, we had two long scoring passes from Chris Salvatierra to Mike Williams. The officials now taking off their warm-up jackets. Here come the John Jay Indians breaking through the banner. And I know Ron Lyons, if he were here, he would say that he used to hate to see the cheerleaders holding out those paper banners. He was always afraid the first kid through.
Injury, right?
Really? Well, you come
Could
through
be a quarterback.
and yep, you trip on something like that, and but it looks like all the John Jay players came through unscathed.
I never knew that Ron coached John Jay until the first series of downs. He knows a lot about football.
Well, he knows his stuff. He coached here for 18 seasons. And he won 108 games, and I think if you were to ask him, the most memorable of his entire 108 was his last football game of the season. It was a game heard on VIP FM back in November of '79, a bowl game at Mount Vernon against Our Lady of Lourdes, who we saw here a few weeks ago. It was his last game. He had announced his retirement, and oddly enough, he had won 107 games, had never won a bowl game. He had been down there about 4 times, had lost every time. He wanted it desperately. His team fell behind 10-0, and at halftime it didn't look good. A faculty member had passed away shortly before. Many of the players were affected by that, and things were just going totally against them. But he got those kids in the halftime in the locker room at halftime, rallied them. They came back with the help of 2 fake placements. One, a fake field goal, which they picked up a first down. Another one to tie the game on a 2-point conversion, went on to win it. Players like Tom Clemenson, Steve Lancia, and others that slip my mind right now, but probably one of the finest, greatest high school football games ever played down at Mount Vernon Stadium. Ron's last game, he's got his bowl game, number 108, and since then he has been on the sidelines as athletic director, but he knows his stuff. You won't find
the
too many...
John Wooden of high school football.
I would say so. Although, of course, John Wooden won those championships all those years. Ron, that's the one thing. He just, for some reason... Things as we lost at 75. He lost one to Ossining, 29-28 on a 2-point conversion in the closing seconds, and just things like that. Just they seem to have that bugaboo down at Mount Vernon Stadium, and in that final game, things did work out, and they were able to pull it out 17-10. John Jay has not been to a bowl game since then, and big sign here on the tower, bowl bound, and as we've said, should John Jay win this one, win the next 2. Chances are pretty good that we'll be seeing them down at Mount Vernon Stadium.
Rich, you mentioned Austin. Very good segue. Next Saturday afternoon, our VIP game of the week. If Austin does win this afternoon against Greeley, Stan Southern Ball Club, fine matchup. Fox Lane and Austin battling in the Class A.
In the bowl or in the game?
No, that will be matched up next Saturday.
Okay, yes, that should be a super game. And Tom, remember, that's one that we added to our schedule. Some good work there by our crack VIP sports team to foresee a terrific matchup there. And even, well, again, it is a big key matchup today for Ossining at Horace Greeley. And I would say next week's game very well could decide that league championship and possibly the bowl team that comes out of that conference A4. So that should be a great game. And, of course, Tom Keone, who was in his second year as athletic director at Ossining High School, took over the program there this year and has himself a 6-0 team, which is kind of hard to believe because you figure that it's the same kids that have been at Ossining. He hasn't gone out and recruited any, and they had trouble winning any football games. Now he's come along and he has a 6-0 team. Shows you what a little motivation can do. So we're just about set to start the second half. Ron Lyons is back with us as we just shift around some headsets here. And we are ready for action, Ron. A very nice halftime show with the, we'll get you squared away in just a minute. Got some sound for Mr. Lyons? How you doing? Okay, all set? Very good. Congratulations, Ron, on that halftime show today. Kids did a very nice job.
There's been a lot of work and effort put into that. Classes ran by our cheerleaders, and of course the demonstration by our young sailor, Miss Antoinette. And this is what it's all about, as I've said a number of times before, Rich. The participation that we have just to make one contest, one football contest. We must have had 45 cheerleaders out there. We have our band playing, another 30, 35 kids. Really, this is what it's all about, high school football, is getting all these kids involved.
Let me ask you a question, Ron. Is this the beginning of a possible John Jay marching band in future years?
Yes, it is.
All right.
We're very happy about that. Right now, they're playing the music which they know best. Sooner or later, they'll get some John Philip Sousa or some marching music. So we're thankful to have them here now. I know our band director, Bill Cox, does have plans for future of getting them out, getting them marching, and actually giving demonstrations on the field.
That's the one thing we miss at the high school games, is that we don't see as many of the marching bands as we once did. Here's the opening kickoff to start the second half. And John Jay has it, and it's taken, let's see who's got that football. Looks to be number 34 carrying it back for the J-Men. David Caviola. Check it, Mike Lenati.
Number 24, Rich, Mike Lenati, a junior. One of his specialties is returning kickoffs, and he did a nice job with that. And he slipped on the mud, or else he probably would have picked up even further yardage.
Okay, now we're set.
Okay.
John Jay with a 1st and 10. Tony Vincent sitting in with us in the second half. We'll ask for his comments as we go. 1st and 10, John Jay at the 36-yard line as we open the second half. The J-Men leading it here 14-0. Chris Salvatore at quarterback. He's going to give it a draw play to Antron Smith. Smith lunges across the 35 up to the 36. It's been a quiet afternoon for Antron Smith, except for that one long gainer out of his own 4.
He does have, I'd say he probably has close to 100 yards already, but nothing that has been in a scoring type of situation.
A quiet 100 yards.
Yes, in that particular first down right there, Somers stunted all 4 linebackers. John Jay called the draw, and the draw went right into the stunting linebackers.
All right, John Jay looking at a 2nd and 10 from the 35. The J-Men moving from right to left towards the scoreboard in the white pants, purple jerseys, white helmets, and white numerals. Chris Salvatore has the boys up on this 2nd and 10 from the 35. And Salvatore will give to Smith again. Smith off the left side. Smith has it up to about the 39-yard line, where he's stopped by Somers, number 54 in white, and McCarron. Somers in the silver pants, white jerseys, red numerals, and silver helmets with the red S on the side. They are coached by Rich Ganida. They come in here with a record of 4-2.
I have a feeling that Smith likes to carry the ball, huh? He puts his head down and he'll get those 2 or 3 tough yards.
Antron Smith has both power and speed, and he'll fight for the extra yard for you, yes.
All right, 3rd and 7 for John Jay at their own 38-yard line. Opening minutes, 3rd quarter. John Jay leading it 14-0. It's like the linebackers are coming here. Salvatore quickly. Ball is tipped and almost intercepted. As Salvatore looked to release quickly to Williams cutting across, one of the big linemen stuck his hands up, knocked it down, didn't see the young man who did it.
That particular pass happened to take a little extra time to develop. I don't think he had possession of the ball as he pulled away from the center and he was trying to find the laces. That little 4/5 of a second through the timing of the whole play off, and the lineman was able to recover and get his hand up there.
Here's Don Munt back in punt formation, kicking for the first time, gets a good snap. Here's his kick. And it's a spinner, and it hits at the 30-yard line, and it's picked up at the 20 by number 42 back there, and that is Paul Gaminer. And Gaminer is ushered down by a whole host of blue-shirted or purple-shirted John Jay Indians.
Michael Williams was the first one down there with his speed on that, Rich. This is another comment I'd like to interject right now. Even though the Somers backs do possess pretty good speed, I have in the back of my mind, my feeling is we're fairly safe back there. Unless a good block is thrown on them, none of them are going to outrun Michael Williams back there. So I really don't think we'll see the long breaker for Somers.
And Michael Williams, of course, playing that center field safety position. Here's a first down play. It gives to Eaton. Eaton off the right side as they go 1st and 10 to the 23. Eaton with a short gain up to about 24-yard line, where he's met by 63 in purple Don Munt. So a short gain, a gain of a couple, we'll say 2nd and 8 coming up as we have 2.5 minutes going by here, third quarter.
I tell you, John Jay is really attacking the ball carrier. There's always 2 or 3 people in there, and they are tough hits.
2nd down and 8 for Somers. We'll call it their own 24-yard line, moving left to right here in the third quarter, away from the scoreboard. Here's Russell Lou, the fullback. Lou can't quite get away from Matt Kelly, or he might have gone for some yards. As it was, he has it across the 25 up to about the 27-yard line. Good gain by Russell Lou. And it will bring up a 3rd and about 4, a long 4 for Somers. Still surprising, we have not seen very much of Tony Chayka here this afternoon, Ron.
Well, again, Rich, it's a different type of defense. I went over to the Brewster game. Chayka was not the main cog in that particular game, and that was against the 4-4 defense also.
There's Halloran rolling out in trouble. Now cocks his arm and throws, and it's incomplete. Intended at the 40-yard line for Gaminer. And doing a nice job of defending on the play was Chris Bates, number 20 in purple.
What is it to see is that both defenses are stunting quite a bit. And when you're stunting, you really can't get a lot of offensive plays that might favor Chayka started quick enough. And therefore, I think that's a contributing factor as to why he hasn't been as successful as he has been in the past.
All right, Tom Gorman is ready to punt for Somers on this 4th and about 5. He'll punt it from about his 15-yard line. Here's the kick, and it's a low-line drive kick. Oh, and it's taken by one of the linebackers right there. Number 60, Mike Radcliffe, turned around. There was the ball.
Popped right into his hands.
And it went right into his hands, and he was so surprised he went just down to his knees.
I don't think that's in the playbook.
And
I don't think that punt is in the playbook either. He was lucky it cleared the line of scrimmage. It never went more than 3 foot off the ground.
And a nice play by Radcliffe to gather it in. As we said, he turned around. There was the ball, so he took it and went to the turf. As it is, John Jay will start it from the Somers 45-yard line. We played 3.5 here, third quarter, 14-0. John Jay on top. Salvatierra will give to Antron Smith. Smith with a big hole. Smith breaking.
He can break that one.
Smith turns the corner. Smith at the 35 to 30. Puts the stand. He just set out of bounds as he put the stiff arm on number 30, Pete Milhant. And Smith almost broke it, just couldn't keep his balance on the sideline. And he's out of bounds at the 24, first down, John Jay. So there's Antron Smith showing us something. Almost broke that one, just pushed out of bounds.
He's had several of those type of runs this afternoon, Rich, and basically off the same play where he comes in off the double isolate off tackle and slides to the outside. And with his speed, he can beat the outside linebacker. And it's just been the defensive back with a good angle on him, hunting him down on the sidelines. And there's where he's gotten. I bet he's well over 100 yards by now.
First and 10, John Jay at the Somers 23-yard line. Here's a pitch out to Smith. Smith, a nice cut inside, does it again. Smith still going down close to the 15-yard line of Somers.
That was an excellent cut by Antron Smith. He saw there was nothing to the outside. He cut it back up inside off tackle. Excellent.
And we had a perfect angle on that as he was operating away from us, and we had the good angle. We saw the cut. And right now, John Jay in business with a 2nd and 2 at the Somers, just inside the Somers 15-yard line. So John Jay looking to go on top by 3 touchdowns, which is certainly going to make the Somers task here in the second half much, much tougher. All right, Salvatierra on this 2nd down play. We'll give to Comanale. Comanale looking for first down yardage. He has to get it down to about the 13. He's very close. Might be just a little bit short.
I think that was Bates that carried that ball that time, Rich. And what it was is he came back on a counter, John Jay's version of a counter back inside, and he actually hit out a hole a little too wide. If I had hit back inside a hole, I don't know, of course, it was designed to go back in there or not, he would have picked up the 2+.
It was number 20, Chris Bates, who has just been replaced by Comanale. Here comes a 3rd and 1 for John Jay at the Somers 13-yard line. John Jay knocking on the door. Here is Smith. Smith has the first down and more. Smith breaks a tackle, tries to turn the corner. Smith inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. Antron Smith really turning it on now. He's got the first down and more for John Jay. First and goal for the J-men at the Somers 3.
Right now, John Jay looks like they're just waiting for. They're just picking their spot because Somers is just standing around. It's not the same defense that we saw in the first half. I think they're a little bit down
What's
now.
happened, Tony, is they are stunting, and they have been stunting at every play, and John Jay's picking up the stunting, hitting them where they have not been stunting in those last particular 3 plays.
First and 10 from the 3. Here is Bates. Bates very close. Let's see. Looked like the official wanted to raise his hands there for a moment. But apparently Bates pushed back. He's not quite in there. Well, actually, they rule him at the 3, so maybe I was a little bit off there. It looked like he was down close to the goal line. It'll be second and goal from the 3.
That's the thing, you get down in here, if he gives that ball to this particular time to Smith, Smith is the type of ball player. He smells the pay dirt. He's going to make it one way or another, whether he has to leap, jump, bowl, or what have you. He'll smell it.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say Smith will get it now, huh?
Second
That's just a
and
guess on my part, Tony.
second and goal from the 3. Salvatierra calls the signals. Long count. He's going to pitch out to Smith. Smith tries to turn the corner left side, heading for the flag. Smith is in there. Touchdown, John Jay. Just dove in over the flag. It's a 3-yard run for Antron Smith, and John Jay leads it now 20-0.
If I was going to have to defend it, that's what I would have gone after. Would have been Smith. And he, as I said, he did smell it. He dove for the cone, caught a piece of it. Of course, anytime you touch it, you've broken the plane, and you're into the 6.
So Antron Smith gets into the act here with a touchdown run. Mike Ranaclev now looking to make it 3 for 3 in the extra point department. And Fitzgerald will hold this one.
Last time they got a piece of it. Let's see if there's any corrections been made.
All right, the teams are lined up and set. The ball, the snap plays down. It's up in the air, and it is good. Ranaclev 3 for 3 in the extra points. That had been something that had been haunting John Jay through most of the season, their extra points, but they've got 3 for 3 today. And as they come back up the field with 5:50 to go, third quarter, the score, John Jay 21, Somers nothing.
After the game today, head on over to Chuck's Steakhouse in Bedford Hills. They are ready for you with the finest in prime rib, steaks, top sirloin, New York strip steaks, and steak teriyaki, plus generous fish dishes and even whole lobsters. And don't forget Chuck's sumptuous salad bar, the first and still the best around. Enjoy the comfortable atmosphere, friendly service, and great food and drink at Chuck's Steakhouse, 728 North Bedford Road, Route 117 in Bedford Hills. Call ahead if you wish, 241-1826. 241-1826. Chuck's Steakhouse. After the game today or any day, you'll love it.
Here's Kelly with the long end-over-end kick straight down the middle of the field where Chayka falls to the ground at the 10-yard line. Well, things not going well for the Somers Tuskers. That's the second time we've seen Anthony Chayka have some problems fielding a kick. As he tried to start upfield. I don't really think the wet field had anything to do with that
I
one,
just
Ron.
think he lost his footing on that particular one. Because he caught it on the grass, and it started his run on the grass, and I don't know if he tangled his own feet or what happened, but I don't think the field played an important part on that one.
And Somers will start in a hole, first and 10 at their own 11-yard line as they move left to right. John Jay leading in the game 21-0. As Halloran has him up on this first down play. They flank a man out here to the right side. Halloran back to pass on first down. He's in trouble,
Safety.
and he's in there for the safety. And let's see who's going to get credit for it. Looks to be number 33, Chris Rep, getting all the congratulations right there, Ron. I believe we're going to give it to Rep. Okay?
That's who it was. Chris Rep. Of course, now that gives 2 points to John Jay. And Somers has to put the ball back into play with a free kick from the 20-yard line. It can be either a punt or a kickoff.
And John Jay leads it now 23-0 on the safety recorded by Chris Rep. As we commented that Halloran passing from deep. They had a first and 10 at the 11. He tried to roll out. Rep right in there on him. And there was no question about it. Although this game not a close game. We've seen some games, Ron. Of course, we were talking about the bowl game before your last game on the coaching lines. Remember how a safety turned that one around?
Yeah. Actually, it wasn't a safety. It was a field goal. However, it was a two-point conversion play. My last goal.
Well, wasn't there a 10-2? If you listen to that tape, it was 10-zip.
I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to remember.
I'm telling you, there was a safety in that
You know, you're
football
right,
game.
Rich. As I think back about it, you are right. That was the play at the beginning.
They lined up the punt, and the kid fumbled it and kicked it out of the end zone for a safety.
Oh, I won that one, didn't I? Yeah, I want to remember.
That was the one you won, yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so McCarron will kick it off from the tee at the 20-yard line. Usually you see him punt, but McCarron will kick it off. And here it comes, Michael Williams. Here we go, 35-40, straight down the middle. Oh, he's wrapped up at the 50-yard line.
Good.
And let's see who that was downfield for the Somers Tuskers. Number 60, Phil Hopp down there.
That was a good hit, too.
Making sure Williams didn't do any more of his thing here.
Well, it's been the Michael Williams day. I'm surprised, but that's fate would have it. There was a good tackle, and an excellent tackle by that boy from Somers.
All right, so John Jay, which has just recorded 2 points on the safety, leading now 23-0, and they have excellent field position, 1st and 10 at the 48. And I don't know, somebody before the game said there wouldn't be too much scoring in this contest. I don't know who that was.
So much for the three-point.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Salvatierra gives to Comanale. Comanale with those legs churning has it down to the 40-yard line, and his brother Joe, who I believe is on the change, or at least he was. There he is. Patsy over there, former player of yours, holding that second down marker. Has to be happy to see his younger brother with a nice run there. Good 7-yard gain, 2nd and 3 coming up.
If I'm the Somers coach, I have to tell I have to call a timeout. They're just standing around. John Jay's taking it right to them, and they just haven't been the same team.
Well, I think we may be just a little demoralized right now, Tony. And John Jay has the momentum, and it's very difficult. You have to do something, make some type of big play to take that momentum away from him.
Here's 2nd and 3 from the 42, and they give it to Chris Bates. Bates has it down close to the 40-yard line.
Bates is another electrifying runner. He gets a little bit of a room. He's a back that certainly runs with his eyes, and he possesses excellent speed also.
And he's another junior, right?
Yes, he is.
So, returning next year for John Jay, they're going to have Salvatierra will be back, their quarterback, Antron Smith and Bates back. Not a bad nucleus to start with, thinking in terms of 1985, but right here with 4:15 to go, third period. It's a 3rd and about 2 for John Jay at the Somers 40. Here's Antron Smith, big hole. Smith down to the 35-yard line. 1st down, John Jay. And Tony, as you said, it looks as though John Jay running at will right now against this Somers defense.
Well, with Somers runners are having success getting through the line, but John Jay linebackers are just stopping them. And right now, the line for Somers, the defensive line, and the linebackers, they're just getting blown out. I think maybe coming into the second half, they were keen on the pass.
Well, I'll tell you, Tony, as I said before, there have been stunting, and John Jay's offensive linemen, the 2 guards, Munt and Ranacliffe, have been picking them up pretty well.
Here comes a halfback pass. The pitch to Smith. Smith throws it long for Williams in the corner of the end zone. Smith missed the football, but he was out of bounds. Well, that was
catching football.
That was a great play to watch, even though it was out of bounds. John Jay's had that play in their playbook for a long time.
They beat Deacon this year with that particular play.
Salvatierra pitched out to Smith. Smith threw a long ball, which Mike Williams made a Willie Mays-type catch over the shoulder at the flag there, but he was just out of bounds. He still caught the football.
Smith and Williams have been doing everything. I wonder if they made the floats for halftime.
Well, very possible.
These guys are doing everything.
Knowing those 2 gentlemen have their finger in everything, I wouldn't be surprised if they had something to do with it.
It'll bring up a 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. We might see that play again later. Or else they might save it for Byram Hills. Here's Salvatierra looking to pass. Looks, throws it complete to Bates. Bates at the 30. Bates cuts to the outside 25 and lunges forward to the 20. Almost a late hit in there as Bates was finally brought down by Paul Gaminer, the defensive halfback. But it's another 1st down. John Jay looks to be at the 20-yard line of Somers.
Tony, I didn't know if you saw that particular play right there. Both inside linebackers on Somers sprinted real hard coming up in between the center guard gaps. Both guards, Ranacliffe and Mott, picked them up with help from Fisbar. Candulo backed off, caught the end coming from the other side, and that's what makes a play like that successful.
Right.
That's what it appears as if Somers is not doing anything, but John Jay's just picking it up.
Here's an interesting formation with Wright and Williams flanked out here to the left side. 1st and 10 from the 20. Salvatierra on a draw play to Smith. Smith is brought down in a nice defensive play that time by John Sullivan, left defensive tackle of Somers, as he grabbed Smith around the ankles, would not let go. And in front of Mr. Smith was some good daylight, and Richie Ganido with a fist in the air congratulating his defensive tackle on a fine defensive play.
One guy who's really playing good for Somers throughout, number 83, Tom Gorman. He's the guy who batted down the ball, almost intercepted it before. He's having a good game.
Tell you what else is interesting, Tony, and it was number 83, Gorman. As a key to Somers' offense, everything, just about everything except the counter, the kick, it goes to Gorman. I mean, they depend upon him so much when they on their running plays. They run to his side because he is probably their best and strongest blocker. Also, their passing plays are designed to go to Gorman as the primary receiver.
Chris Salvatierra looked over the defense, didn't like what he saw, so he called a timeout. So a timeout on the field, 2:36 to go third quarter. With the timeout to score, John Jay 23, Somers nothing.
No matter how much you spend for a new car, the world is going to make it ugly. So bring your car to Z-Bart, because, you know, nobody hates ugly more than Z-Bart. Rust-proofing is just the beginning of Z-Bart's complete program to protect your car from all the things that can make it ugly. Bring your new car to Z-Bart now for their total protection package. Z-Bart at 660 North Broadway in White Plains and 142 Green Lane across from the ShopRite Shopping Center entrance in Bedford Hills. Call 948-4664 or 666-3488.
Okay, and a reminder to join us at 5:30 this afternoon on 1310 WVIP for Westchester County's first and most complete rundown of high school football on the scoreboard.
I'd like to make a reminder to the people from John Jay area or Somers, come on over and join us afterwards for the game for our homecoming festivities inside the gym. Really get an opportunity to get some real exotic and ethnic foods.
Okay. Here's the second down play. Pitch out to Smith around the right side. Smith has some room and some blockers. Cuts down the far sideline. Has it down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. It'll be first and goal, John Jay. Antron Smith again, and he's starting to pile up the yards here in this second half. First and goal, John Jay at the 8. Of course, Ron, you'll take time out at 5:30 to tune in the scoreboard show.
I certainly would. I've never missed one.
Okay.
I won't miss this one.
All right, very good. Glad to hear it. And again, Westchester County, Westchester Radio's first report on high school football.
No matter where we are or what we're doing, we make provisions to catch the show.
Okay, glad to hear that. Tom Baroni and yours truly will be with you at 5:30. Here comes the first and goal.
I don't want to wait for the newspaper tomorrow morning.
Okay, first and goal from the 8. John Jay knocking on the door again, looking to really blow this one open. As Williams flanked out here to the left side, here is Bates taking the handoff. Bates has it down inside the 5 to the 4-yard line.
That was Joe Carminelli on the fullback bend, Rick.
All right, I missed it before, and
the two has a little dirt on it. The 2 and the 0 look very much similar. When they're in that big pile, it is easy to mix them up because they're both about the same size.
they run very similarly as well. Coleman Alley, 22, and Bates, number 20. And it'll be a second down for John Jay. That ball just inside the 5. We've got a minute and a half to go here, third quarter.
And a reminder, this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evening at 7 o'clock, you can tune into VIP Cable Channel 12 and see this game. And it's worth it just to see the passing, the running. Great game.
Here, Rich in action.
Okay. Second and goal from the 4. Salvatierra has him up 23-0. John Jay on top looking for more. Here is Coleman Alley. Coleman Alley is down close. Did I have it right that time, Ron? I think I saw the 22. Let's see.
I think the law of averages is with you.
Yes, it was. Joe Coleman Alley, number 22. All right, finally got it right. And I know his brother Patsy wouldn't be too pleased if I was calling his brother by the wrong name. So John Jay now with a third and goal. It looks to be about a yard away from the goal line. John Jay leading at 23-0 as we are under 1 minute here, third quarter.
Well, I'm going to look for Carminelli to punch this one in.
All right, it would be nice to spread the wealth here just a bit. Salvatierra has him up. And he gives it to Coleman Alley, and Coleman Alley is in there. Touchdown, John Jay. Joe Coleman Alley with about a 2-yard run. It comes with 22 seconds to go, third quarter. John Jay leads it now 29-0.
Did anybody make a copy of the pregame show?
I hope not.
Said a 3-point difference here?
Well, I'll tell you.
Boomer, I told you.
Well, John Jay certainly putting on a fine show for the homecoming crowd here. And, of course, this will give Coach Capalbo a chance to get some of the other guys in, Ron, and that, of course, does great the team around.
But also high scoring at the beginning of the game. I anticipated Somers to also put some points on the board.
There's Radiclev, and the kick is partially blocked again, but again it's good. So Radiclev 4 for 4, and with the 2-point safety, that adds up to 30 points. They come back up the field, 22 seconds to go, third quarter. John Jay leads it now 30-0.
If you're selling your house, be sure to talk to the folks at Plaza Weichert Realtors in Mount Kisco. Nobody sells more real estate in the metro area than Weichert. The statistics are impressive, and at Plaza Weichert Realtors, they know your house represents one of the largest single investments you are ever likely to make. They are proud to represent one of the finest, most distinctive, and diversified communities in America. So if you're selling or buying your home in Mount Kisco, call the professionals at Plaza Weichert Realtors at 241-3500. Plaza Weichert Realtors deliver for you.
All right, Matt Kelly has it teed up on the 40-yard line, and he's getting a lot of practice with his kickoff this afternoon. Here he comes, approaching the ball, end over end, straight down the middle of the field. Here's Chayka, has it at the 5 to 10. Kick return right as he turns the corner, 15-20, and he gets it across the 20, and that's about it. Whole host of purple jerseys downfield, led by number 90, John Purcelli, downfield for the J-Men. As Somers Tuskers now finding themselves on the short end of a 30-0 score. And I really don't think anybody thought it would be this much of a one-sided game. I gave
Coach
John
Capalbo did.
Coach Capalbo did. Oh, well. I did give John Jay a slight edge coming in, only because they seem to have a few more weapons. But
When you come into a contest like this, you always got to be optimistic for your own football team. I know Coach Capalbo was confident in his football team. He cannot predict, high scores, any scores, but I know he felt he would put points on the board with his offense.
okay, with that kickoff return, expired the third period, and we've completed 3 here. Our score after 3, John Jay 30, Somers nothing.
After the game today, head on over to Chuck's Steakhouse in Bedford Hills. They are ready for you with the finest in prime ribs, steaks, top sirloin, New York strip steaks, and steak teriyaki. Plus generous fish dishes and even whole lobsters, Ron Lyon's favorite. And don't forget Chuck's sumptuous salad bar, the first and still the best around. Enjoy the comfortable atmosphere, friendly service, and great food and drink of Chuck's Steakhouse, 728 North Bedford Road, Route 117 in Bedford Hills. Call ahead if you wish at 241-1826. That's 241-1826. Chuck's Steakhouse after the game today or any day. You will love it.
As we start the fourth quarter, 1st and 10, Somers at their own 23 as they move right to left. Here's Halloran looking to, on the option, does pitch it out. And let's see who got it. Looks like Chayka taking the ball on that option. Might have been Eaton over there.
Rich, this is going to be shown in the Mount Kisco area and on Channel 12. I'd just like to say, let's put a plug in at this time. That familiar voice they hear in the background is that of our superintendent of schools, Mr. Joe Fletcher, who has been doing the announcing at John Jay High School for the past 18 years.
Does a fine job as well. Don't see too many superintendents of schools here involved with the football.
We recruited him when I was a head coach, and we won't let him go.
Does an excellent job, and I always try to listen to him before I spot the ball to say what it is, because I know he's right on top of the play. Here's the handoff to Eaton. Eaton has some room. Eaton has it across the 35 up to about the 38-yard line. First down, Somers. So Somers now trying to get something going here. They had that excellent first drive of the game. Remember, they got down to the 20-yard line of John Jay. Since then, it has been all John Jay.
There's a lot of new jerseys in there for the Jay right now on defense, Rich, and some of those boys might be a little confused. They have to settle down a little bit. This is their first shot in the game.
And it's always good to see these second stringers get in. Great for team morale to get everybody in the game. These kids work just as hard as the starters do during the week. And it's nice to see them getting in front of their parents and the homecoming crowd here at John Jay. Here's a first down from the 38. Halloran back to pass, looks, throws. A whistle had blown. It was complete to Gorman. And apparently this one's going to be called back on a penalty.
I think it was too much time, if I'm not mistaken.
And
Maybe movement in the backfield.
some kind of illegal procedure. John Jay leading it here 30-0. This is our second really lopsided score we've had in 2 weeks. Of course, Somers on the other end last week at Kennedy. Now, I don't know, looking down the road, does this mean that John Jay will beat Kennedy 63-0, Ron?
I doubt that, but they certainly have a good opportunity
Let me
to do a good job.
Let me ask you this now. Does Coach Capalbo have to worry about perhaps a little complacency? He's got 2 sub-500 teams coming up, Byram Hills and Kennedy.
Yeah, but he also has to win next week to assure himself a piece of the division title, and of course he would have to win that, plus next week to win the division title and also get a possible bowl bid.
So the motivation is there. And here is another penalty.
I don't think he'll let these boys relax one bit, and I hope, if they watch this contest on the TV, the delayed broadcast, that, they have that in their mind that they can't relax.
All right, another penalty, this one being walked off against John Jay. as we sit here shivering just a bit. Seems to me the weather forecast was calling for weather in the 70s this afternoon. Certainly is not that. And I'd like to ask Ron Lyons, our very fine host here, where's the coffee?
Over the coffee wagon. The seniors are selling over there, Rich. I'll cover for you if you get down the ladder and get
Doesn't
it.
do me any good over there. Okay. Here's a first down, 1st and 10.
Chuck Steakhouse. I'll meet you there.
All right. At the 37, Halloran looks to pass. Oh, it's complete to Geminer. Ball almost batted away by one of the John Jay defenders, but Geminer makes a nice grab, gets it across the 50 into John Jay territory at the 49. First down, Somers.
To Somers' credit, they're not just laying down dying. Their offense is a lot more pumped up than defense, and I'm glad to see him still throwing the ball, still running hard.
Well, of course, there's a lot of pride at stake. Rich Ganida would love to see some points on the board. Here's the handoff to Eaton. Eaton off the right side, puts his head down. Eaton has it from the 49 down to the 46 of John Jay. Gain of 3. Second and about 7 coming up for Somers as we have just about 10 minutes to go here, fourth quarter. And John Jay leads at 30-0.
Ken, what do you think of Eaton? I think...
Zeke.
Sorry. Ron.
You.
What do you think? I like the way he runs the ball.
He's a hard runner, yes. He brings his legs high, and he tucks the ball under, and he runs with good power.
Here's a pass intercepted by John Jay. It's number 64, Niels Ranaclev.
Mike's younger brother.
Mike's younger brother. He has it inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line as that ball thrown right into the hands of Niels Ranaclev, a junior linebacker. And John Jay has the football back. So Somers can't seem to do anything right here in this contest after that first drive. Tough break for Halloran as he had his man open, just underthrown. And so John Jay with the football back, 1st and 10 at the 35. And Ron, you're going to have to help us now spot some of these new guys coming in. We see a new quarterback, Doug Plaskett, number 15, who we saw in action here against Our Lady of Lourdes a few weeks back. And of course, with Chris Salvatierra being a junior, what year is Plaskett in?
Plaskett is a senior.
He's a senior, so he'll be getting some action here. Pretty tough to be a quarterback behind Salvatierra the way he's blossomed into a team leader this season.
Dougie Plaskett is really taking his lumps through the week, and he was really a pretty decent quarterback. A lot of high school teams, he would probably be the starting quarterback. And he is a senior. He has paid his dues, and he is an excellent athlete, and he's a super hockey player.
Kyle Bartels carried that ball on first down, has a yard from the 40 down to the 39, where it'll be 2nd and 9. And we'll see what Jim Capalbo has the plays come in. Jimmy, of course, not one to run up a score. He has a comfortable 30-0 lead right here. Of course, it's tough to tell these kids not to try to score the football or advance it.
That is a difficult thing to do. They want to show, they want to prove how good they can do it. You can't tell them, hey, don't do a good job while you're in there.
Very, very tough, but Jimmy Capalbo has all kinds of class and really doesn't want to embarrass Somers any more than has already been done. Here's the handoff to Lance Blanco, number 25, another junior. No gain on that play. Perhaps a loss of a yard. We'll say 3rd and 10 from the 30. As the clock continues to move with 8:17 to go here, fourth quarter. John Jay will win its 6th consecutive game to go 6-1 on this year. And they are definitely bowl-bound, although Jim Capalbo would not like to hear me say that at this early date.
Too difficult. It is early. They have 2 tough football games they have to get by yet.
Here is Plaskett throwing, intended for Eric Newman, and the ball is batted away at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be a 4th down play coming up. And I
Number
imagine...
74 got his hand on it.
Okay, 74 for Somers. Darryl Jerebick knocking that ball away.
Ron, let me just say, I never met you until I came here today. When I saw you, I thought it was Marty Lyons and not Ron Lyons.
Thanks.
But you're bigger than he is.
Slightly.
Look at this. I have a message here in the booth. My
Okay.
sister's around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Your sister being a taxpayer in our district?
That's right.
There she is down there.
Okay. Here's a ball that is thrown, and it's complete to Newman.
Well thrown by Plaskett.
Yes, and Newman
nice
has
pass.
it inside the 10 down to about the 12-yard line.
Nice catch by Eric Newman.
All right. We've got some good listeners in Lake Katona. Mr. and Mrs. Geller are listening to our game this afternoon. I'd like to say hello to them as we have a first down coming for John Jay at the 12-yard line. Okay. Here come the J-men to the line of scrimmage with 7:32 to go, fourth quarter. Plaskett looks over the defense. Will give on a straight-ahead handoff, and this one goes to 39 in purple, Kyle Bartels. And he goes
Flag on the
down
play,
to about the 10 with a flag on the play. So we'll check out the penalty right here. And we'll see what it is.
Legal procedure, Jay.
Legal procedure against John Jay, so that'll cost him 5 as they'll move it back from the 5 to the 15-yard line. And that message kind of shook me up there, Ron. I thought maybe my car was being towed away or something.
I thought the coffee was on the way.
Yeah, that's right. Whatever.
Your sister must have a radio and be listening in the crowd. Tell her to bring the coffee over. Rich.
Okay. All right, as they move it back to the 17, we really got to get back concentrating on this football game, even though it is 30-0 for John Jay. And John Jay with the drive going with their second unit in there, 1st and 15 from the 17. Here is Bartels again. Bartels has it down close to the 15-yard line, where he stopped on the play by that Somers defense, and getting up last for the Somers Tuskers, number 83, Tom Gorman. And we've mentioned that he certainly played a whale of a game for the Somers Tuskers here this afternoon, going both ways.
Excellent football game, both.
He's a fine athlete.
Offensively and defensively.
Co-captain for head coach Rich Gnida. Kind of the helpless feeling for Coach Gnida on the sidelines right below us.
Coach Gnida has had a very successful season thus far this year. Rich, actually, he was still in the thick of things coming into this ball game, and he still is going to finish up with a fine record.
And, of course, this team did not win a game 2 years ago after their bowl appearance, so Coach Gnida certainly has brought them back. Here's an option play. Plaskett pitch out to Bates. Bates, that little jitterbug. Flag goes down. Bates has it down close to the 10-yard line.
Where that flag came down, there has to be an illegal block, or, yeah, I think it would be a clipping.
Yeah, I think that was on number 55.
For John Jay.
That's Rob
Mike
Smith.
Anderson?
Rob Smith.
Rob Smith.
And it looks like the John Jay Indians are walking backwards. And it looks like 15 against them. Of course, next week on our VIP Cable 12 Game of the Week, one that we've been looking forward to now for a few weeks. And that is going to be Ossining at Fox Lane. And that should be a whale of a football game, Tony. With both of those teams having fine years. Ossining playing at Horace Greeley this afternoon. We'll have that score at 5:30. And, of course, Fox Lane up in Yorktown. And that Fox Lane-Yorktown matchup, always a great one. We've had some great Fox Lane-Yorktown games over the years. And that goes back to when Lou Marinelli was coaching Yorktown. And the Foxes, I'm sure, in for a tough battle this afternoon. All right, second down from the 30. It's second and about 28 here for John Jay. Plaskett looking to pass, looks, throws over the middle, complete to Newman. Newman stumbling along. Newman has it down close to the goal line. He's down at the 5-yard line. So Plaskett quickly over the middle to Eric Newman. Newman kind of caught that ball as he was stumbling, and that stumble actually helped him out because he was able to stumble all the way down. They put it on the 6, so first and goal for John Jay at the 6-yard
Plaskett on
line.
his 2 attempts is throwing 2 fine passes, and both of them to Eric Newman for completions. But both of them have been right on the money.
He rifled that ball, and he showed me a lot stepping up.
5.5 to go, fourth quarter. John Jay comfortably on top, 30-0, as they move left to right towards the shopping center. Here's Plaskett again. He gives to Bartels. Bartels driving hard, very close to the goal line. They bring him down just short. And so John Jay will be in business with a, well, let's see now. I thought it had been first and goal. Apparently not. That was a fourth down play. And they're going to measure it right here as we missed the down on that. So they bring the chain gang in from across the way. It's really academic right now with John Jay on top 30-0. And they're going to stretch it out, and it will be just a little bit short. So the fourth down play is coming right now. Okay, so fourth and short. The ball is on about the 3-yard line, and it'll be a 4th and inches from the 3. As Coach Jimmy Capalbo sends the play in right here. Clock continues to move. We are approaching the 5-minute mark.
Ron, are you surprised to see that they're not going to go for the field goal here?
Oh yes, why, you know, let this group play it out. If they don't make it, you don't need the 3 points. You leave Somers in a poor position.
Here is Plaskett running into one of his own men. He ran into 66, Tony D. Benedetto.
I think to line up and go for the field goal at this particular time really would not be good as far as what Coach Capalbo is trying to accomplish by getting his juniors and his second teamers some work here.
All right, another measurement coming up here. Plaska tried to lunge forward for that first down. He thinks he's got it as he stays on with the defense, with the offense.
If they don't make it, of course, Somers is in a very difficult position to help the second defense do a good job while they're on the field.
And they are short, so they did not make the first down. They're stopped at the 3. So Somers will take over, and let's have a little applause here for that Somers defense trotting off the field, as they really would have been very easy for them just to lay down, but they played tough, denied John Jay another touchdown, and they are to be commended for doing that.
I notice all game long, Rich Gnida is a very vocal coach, and he gets the point across to his players down there on the sideline.
Rich Gnida has been known for many years as a real motivator. He's been a fine wrestling coach at Somers for many, many years.
He's in the contest. He's always coaching. He's going to coach right on down to the last second of the game.
Here is Halloran as they try to move out, gives to Chayka. Chayka, a tough runner, gets it out close to the 10-yard line as they go 1st and 10 from the 3. And Chayka has it out to the 10, so actually the 11, so a good 8-yard gain for Tony Chayka. It'll be 2nd and 2 coming up as we are approaching the 4-minute warning. And this football game, of course, has been decided. It's 30-0 John Jay leading. Here comes the John Jay soccer team back, it looks like, Ron.
Yes.
They look a little happy, too.
Good.
And perhaps they beat Hen Hud this
I
afternoon.
sure hope so.
Doug Bartell does a nice job with that
He
team.
certainly does.
And you'll never find a more of a gentleman on a coaching sideline as Doug Bartell. And in field hockey, in the sectional playoff, in overtime, Kennedy edging John Jay 2-1. So the John Jay field hockey team, I know Ron is really a real field hockey expert. And here's the handoff that goes to Eaton. Eaton tries to turn the corner right side, breaking tackles as he goes, and gets it all the way out to the 25-yard line. 1st down, Somers.
I think Coach Gnida is now going to put, as soon as he got some running room, he's putting his second boys in to get them some work also.
Are they forgetting about the 4-minute warning here?
I certainly hope so. No, I hope they give it to them in a non-situation where it's not going to be where they line up to snap the ball.
Well, they ran 2 plays already.
Scoreboard clock here shows 3:30, and
Perhaps
we know
that's
it's
not accurate.
always very, very close here at John Jay. Here is Halloran giving to a new man in there. It's number 28.
We must have missed
to Tom Gillen.
Our astute timekeeper, John Tickner, has informed me that they did give him the 4-minute warning. We must have been looking at something else when...
All right. As the gathering gloom here at Cross River. Certainly not gloomy on the John Jay sideline. They lead at 30-0. Don't forget to set your clock back this weekend. And, of course, Ron Lyons in his office will have to set it back 2 hours instead of the usual 1.
Spring ahead and fall back.
His clock had been set forward for next spring. Kind of threw me off when I looked at the clock and it said 1:30, and we were sitting in the office having lunch.
That hasn't been changed for 2 years ago.
Here's the handoff, and it goes to Eaton. As everybody having a good time here, except the Somers fans and the Somers players. We're losing track of the game just a bit. 3rd and 5 coming. Somers has it on the 33-yard line with 2.5 minutes to go in this contest. John Jay leading at 30-0. Of course, join us at 5:30 this afternoon for the scoreboard show.
The Boom will be with you this afternoon, Rich?
The Boomer will be with me, as he is every week. No doubt about it. Here's Halloran looking to throw, and he completes a pass over the middle to Mike Chichester, number 80. And Chichester grabs it. Good for a 1st down, Somers.
I tell you, since number 53 for John Jay came in, Anderson, he's made some heavy hits. He's made his presence known in there.
Michael is a junior, and he's going to be an excellent football player. He's just a little bit away from being a starter right now.
All right, Somers has a 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line, looking to get some points on before the end of this game. They trail 30-0 in the contest. All right, here is a new quarterback is in there, and it's Vinny LaRocca. LaRocca will give on the handoff, and this one goes to Gillen, and Gillen brought down behind the line of scrimmage for no gain, perhaps a loss of a yard. Ron Lyons, in case we don't have a chance to say it later, as we work down towards the end, once again, let me thank you, not only for being with us as our guest commentator, but perhaps more importantly for the tremendous hospitality that you've shown us here during this season here at John Jay. We just love to come and watch your football team and enjoy the hospitality.
We love to have you here, Rich, for any contest, whether it be football, basketball, whatever it may be. We always like to have WVIP come up.
Well, we certainly appreciate it, and maybe we'll get to do some basketball this year. That would certainly be a lot of fun, something different. As the handoff goes to Gillen, brought down for no gain. 3rd and 10 coming for Somers. as we are about to start counting down the final minute of this football game.
And for those of you who are interested, Ron will be giving a lecture on the 4-minute warning, maybe, after this game.
No, the 4-minute warning is necessary. However, I just agree with the times that it's given many times. You got a momentum of a game, whether it be for the offense or the defense. The teams come up, line up, and then they give the 4-minute warning. I mean, what is to prevent this? I know the rule says 4-minute. You know, they could give it at 3:59 or 4:06 so that you don't break up the momentum of one team.
Exactly.
Okay, 3rd and 10. Somers has called a timeout. Rich Knight on the field. As Ron said, he coaches right down to the end here. And he's still clapping his hands, still enthusiastic. Says something to the officials. He trots off. He's a fine person, and he calls us every week for our scoreboard show. One year he went 9-0, called us. The poor guy could barely talk, and yet he called in every score.
0-9.
0-9. And what did I say, 9-0?
9-0, I'd call in, too.
Okay, now he was 0-9, still called, and I kept thanking him. He said it's part of the job.
Being the good coach as he is, and the turnaround he's done with their program, he will be 9-0 one of these years.
Unfortunately, we can't say that about all the coaches. Here's a pass as La Rocca hits number 82, Steve Del Duco, and it'll be up to the 48-yard line, 40 seconds to go in the game. And it'll be a 6-1 for John Jay, 4-3 for Somers. Of course, the two big plays in the first half, the two long touchdown passes from Salvatierra to Mike Williams, and that kind of set the tone. And since then, it has been all John Jay with 20 seconds to go. Be sure to stay tuned for a wrap-up show. Ron will be sticking around with Tony and Tom to rehash the game, and then we'll be back with you for the scoreboard at 5:30 as La Rocca looks to pick up the first down. I believe he's going to have it right at midfield. Clock shows 7 seconds to go.
And I think that, did somebody call a timeout? I hope not.
Well, they call a timeout to move the chains.
Okay.
And that will be just about it for this Somers-John Jay game. They will wind up the clock. They'll count down the final seconds. Be sure to stay tuned for the wrap-up show. The final score of the game will be John Jay 30, Somers nothing.
And that's a final here. The game, close first half, 14-0, John Jay. Coming out in the second half, John Jay just put everything together. They ran, they passed, safety, good defense, and final score 30-0 on a homecoming day here. And I tell you, Jim Capalbo has to like what he sees.
Gotta love it, gotta love it. Briefly to recap the scoring for you. Well, of course, obviously, as Tony pointed out, all John Jay here this afternoon turning the tables. Richie Ganitas, Tuskers of Somers last weekend. They were sitting in the captain's chair, 33-0 win over the Gales of Kennedy. This afternoon, it was all John Jay. The final 30-0. As in the first quarter, well, we didn't have any scoring. The defense is doing quite well for both ball clubs, digging in the trenches, stopping the offense. In the second quarter, 77-yard touchdown pass from Chris Salvatierra to Mr. Williams at the 11-11 mark. The PAT by Mike Reneklev was good. The Indians of John Jay on top 7-0. Also in the second quarter, a ditto play. Could have played the replay minus the yardage they had the first time around, somewhat shorter. 45-yard TD pass from Salvatierra to Williams again at the 106 mark left before the intermission. Mike Williams, of course, the spark for the J-men in the first half. The PAT by Reneklev, good. That's the way it was at halftime, 14-0. In the second half, all the scoring came in the third quarter. Somers not being able to generate any offense at all. A 3-yard run on the first possession of the second half. Antron Smith at the 5:50 mark. The PAT by Mr. Reneklev, good again. John Jay on top at that point, 21-0. Somers quarterback Kevin Holleran was dumped in the end zone for safety by Chris Rep. John Jay up 23-0 over Somers. The final score coming, the icing on the cake, late in the third quarter. Joe Cominali, 2-yard run. The PAT by Reneklev is good once again. That was it. 30-0 John Jay over the Tuskers of Somers. And right now I'm going to bring in Ron Lyons. And Ron, I must admit, my prediction incorrect here this afternoon. It did not come out the way I expected it to be. A close ball game with a winning team winning by a 3-point margin. Obviously, I don't think that you predicted, even though you thought it was going to be a high-scoring game.
I thought it would be a high-scoring game, but we'll do the simple fact that Somers did have 3 pretty good running backs, a good end in Gorman, John Jay has an assortment of weapons. Michael Williams, Antron Smith, Chris Page, Joe Pominelli, Chris Salvatore, good offensive line. They just have so many weapons, it's too difficult to keep it a low-scoring game.
And as you pointed out, you thought it was going to be a high-scoring game, but high-scoring for both ball clubs, I think, not the one-sided contest that we saw here.
Personally, my own personal opinion coming into the game, I thought that John Jay would have about the number of points that it does possess right now, 30, and I thought that Somers would be somewhere in the 12 or 14 mark.
Okay, Ron, where does this leave John Jay now? They have 2 games coming up against lesser opponents, but we always could have a possibility of an upset, Byram Hills and Kennedy. Your thoughts on how they will finish up?
First of all, with Byram Hills, they're a very large football team. They're well coached. They're a good football team. They've had their ups and downs this year. John Jay could not look past them. It will be a tough football game. Kennedy, on the other hand, the last game of the year, has not been having a great year. However, you throw away all the records when you come to John Jay Kennedy. We could be 8-0, they could be 0-8, and you're going to have an Army-Navy contest on your hands. So he still does have 2 tough football games before he can be thinking any postseason play. He's got to get past those 2.
As we get down, many people had thought that this was going to decide the bowl bid, but as we all know, the bowl committee will not meet until November the 10th to decide just who will make the bowl. But I'd have to say that a likely candidate with this win here this afternoon over Somers, that John Jay has the driver's seat right now for the chance of that bowl bid.
They're certainly getting a little closer. In the B Division North, you also have Poughkeepsie, which only had 1 loss up until today. In the South, you have both Rye and Eastchester and Harrison with good records down there. There are still 6 or 7 good B teams left, and everything is going to depend upon the next 2 weeks because we get into playing rivals and we get into playing 4 league championships and what have you. So they're going to be pressure contests.
Okay, Coach, I'm going to put you on the spot before I let you go, as always. Right now, let's say John Jay wins its 2 final contests over Byram Hills and Kennedy. Will they be matched up in the bowl game, let's say, against Rye?
I'd say it would be a Rye or a Poughkeepsie, depending upon what Poughkeepsie does in these last 2 games. They are 5-1 going into today. They are also playing in what we call the B North, in the B Conference. The bowl committee could match the 2 North teams and the 2 Southern teams. It's too early to tell yet. A lot of criteria has to be reviewed. Of course, the first criteria is the division winner, and that's your number 1 goal as a football coach, win the division and then worry about it. So I really couldn't tell at this point who they would play. It could be a number of possibilities.
Okay, thank you very much once again, Ron Lyons, the fine athletic director here at John Jay, taking time out once again on a Saturday afternoon from raking the leaves. Joining us here for his expert analysis on high school football. Ron, we look forward to meeting up once again down at Memorial Stadium. I'm up in Dutchess County, up at Poughkeepsie, sometime next month, probably seeing John Jay involved in a bowl game.
We certainly hope we'll be there, and we're certainly going to enjoy it. We're going to have fun if we are selected.
Okay, thank you very much once again. Ron Lyons, the fine athletic director at John Jay. Once again, his ball club victorious here this afternoon over the Tuskers of Somers, 33-0. And right now, I'm going to go to our expert analyst this afternoon, Tony Vincent, usually covering Southern football in the part of Westchester County for us here in our VIP high school football games of the week, covering down-county ball clubs. Tony, we brought you up North City in for the Wizard this afternoon. The fact that he was in attendance at yet another wedding. Your thought on this afternoon's ball game?
Well, I think 2 names. Antron Smith. I think we don't have a stat up here how many yards. I'd have to think anywhere between 130 and 150. He ran the ball at will. Big guy, gets the extra yards, fast. He could get to the outside. And, of course, Williams, what else can you say? And tough defense throughout the game. 30-0 looks like a runaway. First half was very close. 14-0, and with any luck, it could have been 7-0. But I think coming out into the second half, Somers, as soon as John Jay got the ball, they drove, and I think that just took everything right out of their sails.
Tony, I don't know if you made a prediction on this ball game like I did going in. I obviously fallen on my face. I thought it was going to be a much closer contest than what we saw here this afternoon. Obviously didn't go that way. The J-men shutting out Somers 30-0. Did you think the game was going to be a blowout, or did you think it was going to be high-scoring, but high-scoring for both ball clubs.
To tell you the truth, I thought it was going to be a low-scoring game, 14-12, maybe a team reaching 20. I didn't think there was going to be a shutout, especially after the first series that Somers had. But 30-0, I would never have guessed it. Credit to John Jay. They did everything right. I think they had one turnover, and it didn't cost them. They made a couple mistakes, stupid penalties in the first half. Come out in the second half, completely different team, and they looked tough.
Okay, once again, the final score, no contest here in the big Class B North rivalry, the showdown between John Jay and Somers this afternoon. It was all John Jay, 30-0 over the Tuskers of Somers. And once again, I remind you to stay tuned at 5:30 this afternoon for the Scoreboard Show on Radio 13 WVIP. Join Rich Leaf along with yours truly, Tom Baroni. We will run down all the scores from around the county, should I say the four-county region, which we have involved here in high school football. Also, we will have the latest developments and scores, highlights from the college ranks, as well as any late-breaking sports news. Our sponsors for this afternoon's ball game, Z-Bart, located on North Broadway in White Plains and Green Lane across from the ShopRite entrance in Bedford Hills. Remember Z-Bart because nobody hates ugly more than Z-Bart. Plaza Weichert Realtors deliver for you. And Chuck's Steakhouse. Enjoy the comfortable atmosphere, friendly service, and great food and drink of Chuck's Steakhouse, 728 North Bedford Road, Route 117 in Bedford Hills. Call ahead if you wish by dialing 241-1826, 241-1826. Chuck's Steakhouse. After the game today or any day, you will love it.